Good day. This thing's playing. Oh, it's got no sound. Hold on. We got back to jump here. That a lot of people have whenever they go on those
there we go.
I had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Were we just sabotaged?
Feels like yours.
It's a feel-good Friday. I could not start with a sabotaging of the little video player, song player thing. Friday, October 16th. Just a little bit of a setback for a major comeback there to start this feel-good Friday. I was sabotaged when it came to my computer playing said open for the song. Were the Colts sabotaged? People are asking. This morning I woke up to information that COVID had an outbreak in the Indianapolis Colts facility. Initial reports were saying that it wasn't players, it was just personnel. Turns out that that was not true either. The initial report should not have said that because the Colts were not releasing who anybody was that had a positive COVID test. I called my source at the Indianapolis Colts and I asked, is this a lot of people or what? And are these players? And that person told me, well, I'm not allowed to tell you who it potentially was because of whatever. And I was like, yeah, somebody's going to find out at some point. Might as well just tell me. They said, no, can't do it. And then I said, how many? Is it a lot? And they said, what do you consider a lot? And I said, I don't know, a lot. And they said, it's less than 5. And I was like, okay, that's not a lot then, by the way. If it's less than 5, that's not a lot. Then about 20 minutes after that conversation, it came out. Doesn't fucking matter. All false positives. All false positives have come into the Indianapolis Colts facilities. Less than 5. Who knows how many it was? Was it players? We don't know. Was it personnel? We don't know. But what we do know is that this could have happened on a Saturday or on a Sunday and really change a lot of things. Because although this happened on a, I would assume, Thursday test for a Friday morning work day, the interesting thing about it here is they were told not to come into the facility. They were told we're going to do Zoom calls all day. They were told that we have to wait to see if the second test comes back positive as well, or if these are false positives. And if this was to happen on a Saturday and Sunday was game day and the team had already traveled to Indianapolis for the game, what do they do then? Who cares? Doesn't happen. Maybe it will happen down the road. The Colts have this official statement. Earlier this morning, we were informed that 4 individuals. Okay, hey.
There it is.
Less than 5. Mm-hmm. And we should learn that, by the way, whenever somebody gives us information, they are literally, they're selling that information as good as possible. Mm-hmm. 4 individuals within the organization tested positive for COVID-19. The 4 positive samples were retested and have been confirmed negative. After consultation with the NFL and Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Alan Sills, the team will open the practice facility this afternoon under the league's intensive protocol and will continue preparation for Sunday's game against Joey B and the Cincinnati Bengals. So that means now Fast Friday will be moved to the afternoon, which I'm sure all players love, but this year you can't really mind or be upset about absolutely anything. They were going to do the entire day virtually, and I would assume that the 4 people that tested positive were pretty important to the operation because they were so hush-hush on who it was. Now that they're false positives, what do? I guess we just move on and act like nothing happened because so what, now what? Nobody's going to care that they potentially had to miss 1 day of practice, which is Friday, which is your least work day. Now they just got to go on and get ready for the Cincinnati Bengals. I was a little bit upset about the possibility of Phil Rivers not being able to play catch with his players because it seems like on a regular basis he's been playing catch with the other team's players. And we need every single day of practice, but if the Titans showed us anything for these professional athletes, it does not matter. And COVID's side effect might be that they get better at football. I was going to hammer the Colts after that. Now that it's all false positives, I'm going to have to reconsider what we got going on because -8 is a lot of points. This is just another distraction and a distract-filled year for the NFL and for the Colts. They'll figure out how to get through it, but I do believe, were they sabotage? Possibly. Is it annoying? Definitely. But what if, I don't like to live in a world of what if, and this is Feel Good Friday. What if that happens Sunday morning? What if that happens on a Monday morning? What if, not Tuesday? What happens if there is just false? Because I thought, to be completely candid, I thought the false positive thing was done. Like I thought we were no longer dealing with that. I thought the testing had gotten so advanced at this point that we were in a good spot. Because if false positives are happening for the Indianapolis Colts in the NFL, which I would assume are paying a lot of money for high-end tests, Well, how many other false positives are going on?
Countless.
Oh, I don't want to get into it because it is Feel Good Friday. But I mean, this questions everything, and I hope they get it figured out. And I'm thankful that nobody in the Indianapolis Colts organization was, potentially breaking protocols in trying to bring down the entire league like another team was potentially trying to do that we will not talk about because they came out and boat raced the Buffalo Bills after that entire operation. Big show today. In the first hour, we have Josh Cribbs. He's joining us in about 22 minutes. Josh Cribbs, potential Hall of Fame returner for the Cleveland Browns. I played alongside him at the Indianapolis Colts. Awesome, legendary human. Obviously, the Cleveland Browns play the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. Other than the Packers-Bucks, which everybody's excited about, obviously, because two GOATs are taking each other on in the quarterback position, this Steelers-Browns game has massive implications. And to talk about the Steelers side of things, as opposed to Josh Cribbs' Cleveland Browns side of things, Ramon Foster, former offensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who was in the game last year, by the way, when Myles Garrett took Mason Rudolph's helmet off of his head and then hit him in the head with his own helmet on national television while securing a dub for the Cleveland Browns or the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger, by the way, here's a stat that came out this morning via Good Morning Football's Kay Adams, I believe she said.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger's 23-2-1 or something like that against the Browns. 23-2-1 against the Browns. The last 16 games the Cleveland Browns have had in Pittsburgh, they have lost. So if you're a stats person, we live in an analytics world. I mean, we live in a stats world. It does feel as if the odds are stacked against the Cleveland Browns, especially now that Ben Roethlisberger is all the way back. That defensive line is unbelievable. Although the Cleveland Browns have kind of found an identity and they're 4-1 for the first time, in forever or whatever, that feels like a team, the Steelers, that are just waiting in anticipation for this weekend. And if you listen to Mike Tomlin talking, he said, hey, it's hot in the kitchen in the AFC North. They very much understand that this is a massive game. Not only because the Pittsburgh-Cleveland rivalry has been one for a long, long time. Whenever you grow up in Pittsburgh, you're told that Cleveland is the mistake on the lake. You're told that Cleveland stinks. You're told that Cleveland is the worst city of all time. Diggs, am I lying?
All true.
All true. Nick, am I lying? No, not lying. Nick even says no, he's not lying. It's a real thing. If you grew up in Pittsburgh, and I would assume the same thing happens in Cleveland, and this goes back way before I was born. This goes back way before Diggs was born. The Browns and Steelers used to be a historic rivalry. Then Cleveland, the Browns, just left. They went over to Baltimore. See you later. Then Cleveland Browns fans, which are a very loyal and diehard fan base, kind of lost their way. They didn't know what to do. Browns come back. Here we go. We hate each other again. But since they've come back, it hasn't really been anything special when it comes to Browns-Steelers rivalry. And I went to the city of Cleveland. I was like, this place is really nice, actually. Like, everything I was told about this place, actually a lie. Place is very nice. But that is two organizations that know that their fan bases hate each other. But in recent history, it has not really been that close. Is this the time that the Cleveland Browns, 4-1 with their best team, their best effort, kind of turn the page on that rivalry, bug windshield type rivalry at this point? Or will this be the same old Browns, same old Steelers in Pittsburgh, and the Pittsburgh Steelers just absolutely blow the doors off of them? At Tone Diggs, Pittsburgh fan, how do you feel about the weekend going in?
Yeah, even though it is technically a rivalry because both fan bases hate each other, it's a very different type of hate. Like, the Browns fans hate us, Steelers fans, because we always win and they want to be, that's the franchise they want to be. We hate them because anytime they win 2 or 3 games in a row, they think that they're the best organization that was ever created when they haven't won a playoff game since 1995, I believe. But like,
that's 25 years, by the way.
Yeah, it's quite a long time. So I mean, they are quite the annoying little brother situation type thing. Like with the Ravens, which is actually a rivalry, all mutual respect. Love that fan base. I don't think they really have a big issue with that because those are two good football teams going at it for the AFC North. But with Cleveland, I mean, they're just an annoying fucking piece of shit fan base.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, that is not warranted, by the way, because we've been to Cleveland, and Cleveland people are actually very nice.
Great,
wonderful.
And the casino was great. The casino was very given. The city's very nice. So everything I was told growing up was just a complete lie, but I like the fact that Diggs still has that, because you do get, it's kind of like propaganda, like a brainwash as a child about what Cleveland is. Like, Cleveland just stinks. Like, this is how it goes.
Place smelled like decaying roadkill.
Oh, come on. There's another guy, Nick Verado. He is from Pittsburgh. So he had that in his mind while he was going over there. And it is very interesting because this is the first time in a long time, I would assume, and they beat the Steelers, by the way, last year when Mason Rudolph was playing quarterback in Cleveland. Massive dub for their fan base that completely, they couldn't even celebrate because their best player got suspended for the rest of the season. So it's like the Browns fans have been waiting for this moment. They get one last year, beating Mason Rudolph. They get a big win. Can't even celebrate it because, your team's terrible, what you guys did. Yep. Now they have a good team going into Pittsburgh, 4-1. Here we go. We found our identity. There's a chance that this game could be for the Cleveland Browns, but it just feels like there's a better chance that it's probably not if you look at the way the history is going.
It could be a game for the Cleveland Browns, but the good news is this is their Super Bowl, so it's basically a win-win for the Steelers because if they do beat the Browns with this great team that they have, it just demoralizes them. And if the Steelers lose, who cares? It's a Week 6 loss. You're still 4-1. We'll talk to you down the line.
Okay, yeah, which, by the way, is a Steelers mentality. Hey, we still got more games to play here. Cleveland Browns, what happens on the other side? Because they haven't been in this situation in a long time. Who knows what team they are? Maybe they lose and they're able just to bounce back and say no big deal. Maybe they're win and just say, hey, no big deal, keep it moving. Could be a new Browns team. Could be a new story in this rivalry. Baker Mayfield, Ben Roethlisberger battle it out Sunday in Pittsburgh. At Boston Connor, the Patriots have Cam Newton back. How you doing? Keep it moving.
Feel fantastic. Gilmore also back. Quick turnaround. I mean, defensive players of the year, they just can fight COVID. It seems like better than everyone.
So the Patriots are minus 9.5 at home against the Broncos. Vic Fangio, we all know, is a stern test when it comes to coaching against Bill Belichick.
And, second-year quarterbacks do very well against Bill as well. So, we feel a little nervous for Drew Lock, but I feel pretty confident with Cam Newton.
9.5 is a very large spread.
Yeah.
It feels like this year, more so than years past, the spreads have been bigger.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the books have gotten to the point where they're like, yeah, these teams stink. It used to be like the sports books would try to sell the game almost. It'd be like, all right, this team is minus half, minus 2.5. You would never see 10.5, 11.5, 13.5 spreads, which I think is happening like weekly now at this point, 9.5 point spreads, because I think maybe the COVID year has kind of taken advantage of things. Maybe injuries have happened, but I also think the sports books are like, I think we could take advantage of people thinking the teams stink. And this is potentially one of those situations. Will the Broncos be able to keep it close? Everything says no, but 9.5 is a lot of points to be giving up if you're the Patriots.
I could be wrong here, but it seems as if the bad teams are worse now. Like when you guys had the first pick for Andrew Luck and you guys went 2-14, you said there were 9 games within one score or something like that. The Jets are getting blown out every single week. The Bengals last year got blown out a lot.
The Jets, by the way, this week, according to my sources, they are legitimately full court press attempting to lose every football game.
Yeah, gotta respect it.
I got it. Inside information, and it's not coming from a coach or a player. It's coming from higher up. I got a text that was said, trying to do that, basically. And I was like, what is that? What is it? Who is this? And what does that mean? Insert name of person here who would know what's going on. And then saying, all out press for Trev Lawrence at this point. I'm like, I fucking respect it, I guess. Yeah. I mean, the players, sucks for you. They're going to trot Joe Flacco out there and he's going to get killed. And the coaches who are trying to make money for their families and not have to move, they're getting trotted out there. I mean, Adam Gase stinks for him, but he does have an assistant coaching staff and everything like that. And they're just going to try to, hey, good luck. But the people that are up in the suites and stuff that are watching this game, pulling against you.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very different. I mean, but it's smart. If you think Trevor Lawrence is the guy, which, by the way, every human has said that they think Trevor Lawrence is the guy, and he's in New York City, and you can potentially, with Danny Dimes and Joe Judge trying to build over there at the Giants, who knows how that's going to go. If you get Trevor Lawrence in there and he is everything that they say, I mean, good move long term. But in the moment, it's like the players and coaches are the only one upset. I think the fans were even happy when they're losing. They're like, yeah, here we go. Let's get this Trevor Lawrence kid. Let's keep sucking out here.
Very much sucks as a Patriots fan to know that Trevor Lawrence will be in the AFC East for the next 15 years. But with that Broncos 9.5 spread, it might be because Melvin Gordon's driving around bombed in Denver. So without him, with that Dewey, I mean.
He was at practice, though, the next day, I guess. He got out of jail. Hopefully he did not get COVID in jail, or if he did get in jail, I'm not 100% sure. Normally for DUI, you end up somewhat in jail, I believe.
Yeah, I thought that's how
very
it worked.
interesting.
So if they know that he wasn't at home, I guess he just had to take a negative test. If he gets a negative test, they just keep him around. Like, hey, we assume everybody at jail that you were around just had a negative test. And if he's anything like me, whenever I got my public intoxication, they probably put him in his own solitary confinement because he's a special inmate, which is what I was called. And I wonder if his special inmate little glass cage that he had to sit in, if it's anything like mine, had a broken toilet that whatever special inmate was in there before me, I don't know if it was a pacer or a fucking somebody else, they just broke the toilet with a shit bomb, and it just was a literal glass box of poop that was sitting amongst all of everybody else that seemed to be in a doctor's office. office, and they were waving into me in a glass box as if I was an experiment. I mean, I wonder if that's what Melvin Gordon had, and that's why they know that he couldn't have got COVID from anybody else that was potentially incarcerated.
Sort of a metaphor for the Broncos season, if you think about the whole entire thing.
Go on.
You know, you're in a glass box, and it is a broken toilet. In the NFL, sort of in a glass box, and the broken toilet here is the Denver Broncos.
Potentially. A lot of other teams are in a glass cage of shit, I think.
That would be the poop inside the toilet. Would be, you know, the Jets, the Giants, all those dog shit teams.
Yeah, ponder that. At Ty Schmidt, Packers big weekend. Aaron Rodgers coming off a bye week where he said he literally did nothing, taking on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we all know Tom, whenever he's rushing a passer, he can get after it. Yeah. We know Aaron is going to be dropping into a deep third there for safety coverage for Tom Brady. But when these two play against each other, there is a heightened hype for good reason. We're about to watch two legends battle it out. And I would assume Packers fans are like, yeah, this is going to be a good day to be an Aaron Rodgers fans.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's another measuring stick game. You know, everyone thought that the Bucs would be one of like the 4 teams right there to win the NFC, and the Packers are as healthy as they've been this year so far. I got a lot of guys coming back. I'm just excited that, you know, we're playing relevant football. I mean, Raji is looking great. You know, the Bucs are a good team, but if the Packers beat them, same deal. They're in the driver's seat for the NFC.
The question is, will Tom Brady and that offense be able to score? We can assume yes, right? The Green Bay Packers team has been very opportunistic on the defense side of the ball, but they do give up points. Yeah. Right? They do give up points. Then it'll be a battle of what will Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, who's back, and that entire, Aaron Jones, Jamal, the whole Lazard back?
I don't think so.
Defense.
Got Kenny Clark back on defense.
Okay, all right. But anyway, so whenever you talk about the Packers having to score, it's like, will Aaron Rodgers and that offense be able to pick apart Todd Bowles' defense as much as Tom Brady will be able to do that to the Packers' defense? And I think that's the big question. And that's going to be the tail of the game. It's like what defense can get stops and what offense is going to be able to keep it moving. By the way, that's football.
Yeah, Zadarius Smith had, I think, like 8. I mean, he was in Matt Ryan's face all game last week. So if they let Brady throw from a clean pocket, I think it'll be tough. But if the guys they paid a lot of money to get to the quarterback have a pretty good day, I think the Packers will be fine.
Let's go. Okay, at Viva Lazito, you always have the biggest polls on the internet.
Massive.
What is your poll for today, pal?
Will Lev Bell rush for 100 yards in a game this season? Right now, yup is 53.7%. Nope, 46.3%. So it's pretty close.
That's what I thought, by the way. I thought this was going to be a very split answer here for this particular poll presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. We appreciate that. Diggs said no, he will not be able to. I think yes, he will be able to. And then Diggs wanted to add a couple little clauses to this question. Whenever you say, will Le'Veon Bell rush for 100 yards in a game this season, and you ask that question, there's a lot of obvious things that have to be taken into account for. Is he going to be the running back? Or are they going to line him up at potential another slot receiver? Are they going to have him at more of a hybrid offensive player as opposed to just a running back that they're going to hand the rock to? Or is Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to be healthy, LC? I mean, there's a lot of questions that have to go into that. That's why the question of will Lev rush for 100 yards in a game this season is such a difficult one, because there's so many that go into it. I think he will at some point. I think they'll hand him the rock in the second half of a game that they have the lead in, and he'll somehow get hot and he'll rush for like 80, 90 yards in the second half, and everybody will be like, oh, there's old Lev Bell. But the fact that Le'Veon Bell signed with the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions is absolute madness to me. I have no idea. They signed Andy Reid to a, $700 million contract. They signed Patrick Mahomes literally to a $500 million contract. They signed Travis Kelce to put him up over $100 million in earning. They signed Tyreek Hill already. They have offensive linemen. They signed Sammy Watkins. They bring him back. They signed Chris Jones, Stone Cold Chris Jones. Yep. They signed their entire team back somehow. Worked magic, a la John Dorenbos. Ooh. I was going to say David Blaine, but we think he lost his fastball.
Yeah, he definitely did.
And I saw a live Chris Angel show. To be honest, he cut a woman in half with a saw. That was the size of the studio, and I could see the individual blades. And I'll tell you what, it was tough to believe. Chris Angel maybe lost his fastball as well. John Dorenbos just getting hot. I don't know how they've been able to John Dorenbos this salary cap to be able to keep adding these players. And everybody knows that Le'Veon Bell was getting paid league min, vet min, 1-year deal. The Jets will pick up everything else. But then we also learned that there's a chance for him to double dip potentially with the termination clause that's in contract. So nobody knows what the business side of this whole thing is, whether or not he'll get paid $6 million from the Jets and then whatever else he's getting paid from the Chiefs, or if the Jets will have to pick up the rest of the charge from whatever they pay that's less than $6 million. Nobody knows. But the fact that they add Lev Bell onto that team, it just makes you think, like, what the fuck is going on? How are they able to do it? You got to give massive, massive credit to Andy Reid and the boys over there for being able to pull this off. And how they have enough footballs, nobody knows. I would assume that Lev knows that if they win and he does well, he's going to get paid a lot of money next year, and he'll come out from underneath the Adam Gase umbrella, a better player, which has happened on numerous occasions at this point. But when I read this last night from a Shefty report, by the way, which is kind of heartbreaking because you assume Rappaport would have broke this.
Oh, yeah.
But he had to trim the bushes so the tree stands taller with Manscaped, and it's one of those very interesting situations. But I was mind blown last night when Shefty broke this news. What's up, Nick?
Lev's going to look real good in that winter coat on the sideline when his hamstrings pop.
Oh, come on.
God, dude.
Nick. Jeez.
Friday.
I want to let you know that this hour is brought to you by the Morning Brew. Oh. Now, you might think this is a coffee company based on the name, but you would be wrong. They are a totally free daily newsletter that brings you up to speed on the most important business, tech, and finance news in just 5 minutes. Ooh. In order for us to come up with content for this show, we've got to read a lot of sports business news across many different sources.
Absolutely.
Tons of time is spent on that. Morning Brew makes it unnecessary for business, tech, and finance news, gathering all of the most interesting info for you to digest each morning. Traditional news is dry, stupid, dense, and boring. Morning Brews is witty, relevant, and informative. Yeah. Just this past week, for example, I've learned that Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler started a coffee shop, Big Face Coffee, out of his hotel room. He appeared to file 3 trademarks for the brands in September. How about that little stat?
Whoa.
Nick Saban, head coach of the University of Alabama football team, has tested positive for COVID-19. Not good when these guys are keen to start the football season. All right, so this is the first ad read with them, and obviously there's a lot of things on here that I did not learn from Morning Brew, but there are things that I have learned from this incredible newsletter. I've been subscribed to this newsletter for about a year now. 2 days ago, they just sold for $75 million. Ooh. So quite a come up. Happy to be doing business with them. But I very much live by code that I would like to know a little bit about everything so I can have a conversation with anybody about anything. And this particular newsletter has helped me do that with the super, finance people.
Wall Street guys.
Business, handshaking. Morning Brew is totally free to sign up, and it just takes 15 seconds. Go to CEN.YT/Pat. CEN, as in CEN, .YT, which I would assume YouTube, /Pat. So they know that we sent you. CEN.YT/Pat. Morning Brew, all the information that you could possibly need that is normally boring and stupid, but nice to know about in a fun, witty fashion. I like Morning Brew. Shout out to them. CEN.YT/Pat.
It works. I just typed it in.
Hell yeah.
There we go. That a boy, Zito. And by the way, Zito with a little finance and business information is a weapon.
Dangerous.
And I'm thankful you're going to join me on the Morning Brew train. Thank you. We got to get to a break here on this Feel Good Friday, October 16th. Joshua Cribbs joins us on the other side. Joshua Cribbs, Cleveland Browns legend, Indianapolis Colt, I think future potential Hall of Famer as a return specialist. The guy was a weapon. He's on the other side. Go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. We'll see you. This is Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82, Mad Dogs. The NFL.com power rankings have come out. Let's go. We have to judge the power rankings here after week 5, which saw us have a Tuesday night football game, a Monday night football game, an entire Sunday slate. Sitting atop the NFL.com week 6 power rankings are the Green Bay Packers, who take home at Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers playing better football than he's ever played. The defense is playing great, and it feels like that team coming out of a bye week is only going to get better and better. AJ, do you like the Packers at 1? Is this a good thing for the Packers, or do you think this is a potential? Too much pressure, too much weight to bear, knowing that you're the number 1 team on NFL.com, AJ.
Well, I don't think the players are going to care too much. They're not going to be like, oh, did you guys see the latest power rankings? Like, I don't know which there's 720 websites that do power rankings. Which one are you referring to? And NFL.com, we're number one. That's a lot of pressure, guys. Like, do you think Aaron's having that talk right now with Devontae Adams?
He should be. This is the league's website. And number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. They haven't looked great in a couple games. They still get wins, but they beat the hell out of the number 3 team, Baltimore Ravens, which makes everybody think the Kansas City Chiefs will be able to figure it out, but who knows if they will. Lamar Jackson bounced back. At 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to the AFC North at 3 and 4. Tennessee Titans are at 5. They took 2 weeks off, didn't need practice, just beat the hell out of the Buffalo Bills, who are ranked 7th, one below the Seattle Seahawks. Los Angeles Rams at the 8th. Is that a quiet team moving up the board? I do believe. Number 9, Cleveland Browns. AJ Hawk, your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns? Is this the year that the dog pound gets to celebrate some shit?
Yeah, what's that? What does that mean? A playoff berth? Is that a celebration for them, or do you have? Is it Super Bowl or bust?
Above 500 would be a party in Cleveland. It looks like they're well on their way. At 10, the New Orleans Saints, who might be playing at LSU Stadium because the New Orleans mayor won't allow any fans in the Superdome. But in Baton Rouge, they got 26,000 people there. Are the Saints going to play at LSU? Who knows? They're ranked 10th right now. Will Drew Brees' arm be able to stay on his body throughout the entire thing? Patriots, Bucks. Patriots ranked above the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 11-12. Bill Belichick is above Tom Brady. Will that remain? Darren Waller and the Las Vegas Raiders, then the Panthers, Cardinals, Bears, Chargers, Colts. Damn. 19 Vikings, then the Dolphins, then the Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys, by the way, AJ's pick for the Super Bowl at 22. Texans, 24. They got no coach. They got no GM. Shout out to Romeo Cornell. They're having fun. They might get really good really quick. Detroit Lions aren't the worst. Shout out to Detroit. Cincinnati Bengals, 26. Broncos, 27. Jags, 28. Falcons, 29. Washington football team, 30. 31, the football Giants. 32, the Jets. AJ, your thoughts on the last 10 there? Does it matter? They all just suck at the moment.
I think it's kind of unfair. I think the Giants should be behind the Jets. They need to swap 31 and 32.
Wow.
What?
Wow. We will debate that tomorrow as only we can right here on the Pat McAfee Show, Sirius XM, Channel 82.
You're listening to the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Not bad. That one's not bad. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
I like it.
We're supposed to be talking to Josh Cribbs like 4 minutes ago. I powered through that. We're trying to reach out to him right now. Can't wait to talk to him. Good guy. Good teammate, by the way. Great teammate. Fearless dude. Yeah. If you're a returner, you got to be completely fearless. And this dude, the reason why he was such a weapon, and there's different styles of kickoff return, right? Different styles of kickoff return, but all pretty much have the same goal. If you can get to full speed the fastest, that is what you're looking to do. And Josh Cribbs was, I think, the first returner that really just exploited kickoff coverage teams. He would set up his blocks so good, and he would get to full speed so fast. And then whenever there was a potential little bit of a gap where he would set up his block, he would hit that thing going so hard that those massive collisions could be they could be waiting for him, or he could pop through and you see him break through the wave and he was gone. It was so much fun to watch him kickoff return. I actually saw it happen on the other side. I kicked off to him. He set up his blockers, and then boom, he was just out. It was like I was a kid watching him back whenever he was at Cleveland, and I was in the video game, like what Darius Butler basically talked about when Peyton Manning looked at him. It felt like I was in the television while I was seeing it happen. And he's not a small guy either. He was a big dude that was just lumbering. Josh Cribbs changed the game. Absolutely changed the game. I was lucky to be teammates with him. I assume he'll be a Hall of Famer at some point. It won't come as quickly as deserved or earned, but it will come at some point. What's up, Zito?
How much time is spent in practice for like kickoff return and stuff like that?
It's a full special teams, like 15-minute period, probably like 5-10 minutes each day. But by the way, watching him work, professional every single day. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, a man who was a legend for the Cleveland Browns. He'll be a Hall of Famer at some point. It won't come soon enough. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Cribbs.
Yeah!
Hey, Josh!
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hey, great. Thank you so much for joining us, Cribbs. How you been?
I've been real good, man. How you been, Pat?
Hey, just getting old over here. Just getting old over here, dude. You know.
Man, I could teach off you, man. You kind of are the asterisk to returning. And I say that because when I'm coaching returners, I always tell them, once you get to the kicker, you're golden. You're going to score because they don't want to tackle. But then I have to tell a story about Pat McAfee. I got to say, well, there's this one guy, this one kicker, and he's good, but he's Pat McAfee, and he's not like the other guys. He'll actually try to tackle you.
Well, it wasn't just that, by the way. It was, I think the thing about it was, I always got so upset because my job is field position. You know, Cribbs? Like, my job is field positions. So if the returner is getting to me, I've already failed my job, right? So that means a lot of things. That means a lot of things. That means our defense is not being set up for success. That means probably whenever my next contract comes up, like, this is potentially going to hurt. There's a lot of things that go into it. So I don't want to say, like, I black out there, but I pretty much do. It's like, this guy is ruining my life right now. And that's why I always try to befriend returners before the game, you know? I always try to talk to them like, hey, listen, we're in this thing together today, you and me. You know?
You did that. You did. But you know me, I'm lining up 9 yards deep.
Yeah.
And you kicking it out 9 out of 8 times.
Yeah.
Right? No, 8 out of 9 times.
Yeah.
But it's the one time late in the game that you've been kicking it out of the end zone and you're like, we're cool now. He's going to respect the code. The bro code that we established, and no, I'm bringing it out 9 yards deep.
This guy.
I gotta make a living for myself too.
Hey, this son of a bitch, okay? So you kick it, all right? He's back 9 yards deep. And what he's talking about is normally if it's 5 yards deep or more, taking a knee every single time because you have to get a 25-yard return already, and you're starting back, so the coverage team is already further down, so you're going to lose your team yardage if you don't. Now, Josh Cribbs, obviously different. So he would line up 9 deep, and anytime you see him lined up back there, that is a direct message to you that, hey, this is going to be a long day today. Like, hey, you are not getting touchbacks here, so you're trying to put it out, right? So I'm trying to put it out over his head. You're trying to beat the outfielder, basically. This son of a bitch will steal a home run. He will steal a home run, turn, and then start running. And his coaches are like, yeah, we want you to do that. And it's like this.
All day.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. Had to do it, though.
And but just like you said it, though, man, it only takes one time. And, kickers like you, punters like you, they're still now in the league. I almost text you. I almost hit you on IG and all of that to be like, man, hey, if you got back in the league now, teams will be calling for you because it's not a lot of punters, it's not a lot of kickers that can actually just kick it out. You know, not just that, but make that field goal because since they moved the field goals back, man, these kickers been dropping like flies, man. They've been here with one team one day and gone the next.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
You could, if you wanted to, you could go back.
I know I could, Josh, but I'm at the point now where I indulge in too many vitamins and I'm enjoying life. You know what I mean? Cribbs, you watch the game though and see like the rules that have changed. And rules have changed a lot in all aspects, special teams, everything. Do you think if your style of play now, you would have been better or worse than it was back in the day? You think much better now?
I would have definitely, because of all the rules, I'd have definitely been still playing.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that, guys like myself, guys like Hester, we would still be a commodity because the great teams still want special teams a part of their, will still have us a heavy part of their success. Anytime a team returns the ball out of the end zone or returns the kickoff in today's NFL, there's a good chance that they'll get, out to the 30 and 40 because not a lot of teams are covering. So they don't have a lot of experience at covering because most of the kickers are kicking it out of the end zone. So all the coverage units aren't battle tested. They're not battle tested also. Myself, guys like Hester, Sproles, back in the day, we would have a field day in today's NFL because not a lot of coverage units are battle tested at all. Granted, we would still be playing because two-a-days is not happening. And, you can only be in full pads a certain amount of days, a certain amount of times, and the cartilage around my knees would still be there. I would still be playing.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I just read something on your Wikipedia that I didn't know about, and it wasn't apparent at all whenever I was talking to you as a teammate. You're always, just like you are now, upbeat, funny, it said on your Wikipedia that somebody alleged that your brain, there was some damage to your brain or something at the age of 32. What was that? How'd you find out about that? And was that one of those, like one of the most alarming things you'd ever seen before?
Yes, definitely. So I entered in in an NFL study done by Cleveland Clinic, and I got extensive MRIs on my brain, and they can't test for CTE or nothing like that yet while you're alive. And the doctor told me, the specialist, they called me in to do these extra tests, and they said, well, we don't know what to call this. And I'm like, well, just tell me in plain English. Like, they got me scared. Well, you have unspecific change in your white brain matter. And I'm like, what does that mean, like, in layman's? And he basically was like, your brain is what a 58-year-old brain looks like, that been through something, have some contusions and some healed spots here and there. But there are a lot of spots, and you're only 32 years old, and your brain is this old. And I'm like, I'm trying to compute that in my head, but I can't. I'm like, man, am I going to live? And this, so they just was preparing me for, a future that's uncertain, so to speak. So that was alarming to hear, from the Cleveland Clinic, well-known doctors, and to understand that this life of success in the NFL will lead to a post-NFL life of maybe, me losing my thoughts and, things that they don't understand, because the study of the brain is far from, over. They haven't, reached a huge area when it comes to studying the brain. So, that's discerning. But then I look back over my career and I'm like, man, would I have done it all over again, knowing that the outcome of my, senior citizen life won't be as successful, or my post-NFL life? And, eventually, and you can answer this as well, our NFL careers were like top of the life for us. It was like the best time in our lives at that moment. And when I think of my children, yes, I'm like, man, maybe I wouldn't have done it, but I can't lie to myself. I would do it again.
Yeah.
Like the NFL, living that life, I would do it again. Well, I'm like, suit me up.
And also, and by the way, I think everybody that's been in the NFL, not everybody, because there's some guys that come out and say, like, they want to sue the NFL for not giving you money information, everything like that. And I can understand that, right? Because some guys might think that they were lied to and all that stuff. But whenever you talk to most guys, myself included, it's like, and I'm nowhere near that, anything that you guys have had to go through. But whenever you talk to a lot of guys that have had that, they're like, without the NFL, they're like, my family's not living in the house that we're in. We're not going to the schools that we're going to. We're not doing anything that is. So it's like, it's a gift and a curse at this point. And whenever you got told about the gift and the curse, was there any immediate treatment plan for you to, like, I don't want to say hold on to the 58-year-old brain and keep it there until you can potentially meet it, but is there stuff that you're doing now post-football to kind of hopefully hang on to what you got going on?
Oh, yeah. So what they said is they can't treat anything until something happens. So they can't prepare for something that they don't know what will happen. So for me, they urged and gave me the notions to just stay mentally ready, like mind games, stay talking about football, things you love, quick with it, as far as my words, my vocabulary, everything like that. So I stayed engaged. I stayed doing stuff. A lot of guys who leave the NFL sometimes go into a depression. It kind of happened to me, to where I woke up one day and it's over. Now, Pat, I used to have dreams like I was in the meeting room and I was like, oh man, I'm glad I'm in the meeting room. I thought it was over. And then I wake up like, oh my gosh, like it's over. So those are the things that still kind of reoccur. Every now and then I'll fall asleep and think I'm still playing, or think I'm going to the meeting, or I'm waking up late for practice. But I stay busy. I stay, very intrigued and very busy with the children and their sports. I coached for the Browns in 2018. I did a lot of work in tech for the Houston Texans in 2019. I interviewed for some jobs. So I'm staying football ready mentally. I'm staying, just busy. I'm getting busy living instead of getting busy dying. I'm gonna let my legacy live on in everything I'm doing. And like I said, getting busy living instead of getting busy dying.
I love that. Now I have to ask about these dreams. Do any of them turn to nightmares when I show up, bud? You know what I mean?
Hey, I hate bringing it up, but I feel like I'm a hater if I don't bring you up when I talk about returning. I feel like I'm hating, like you're right there, like you better bring it up. Like you can't be a stand-up guy if I can't say Pat McAfee tackled me. People would say this, like, oh, you never got tackled by a kicker. Like my son asked me, like, have a kicker ever tackled you? I'm like, of course not. Okay, it's this one guy. And then I gotta break out the excuses, like I was about to fall.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And then he came, and my shoes were untied.
You see.
It was raining in Cleveland.
You see.
So I bring up all these factors that don't matter.
Yeah, as you should. I got a turf burn on my arm from the tackle of him because he's so large, and he dragged me, by the way. So, I tackled him, he dragged me, and I got turf burn on my arm. And for, the next 3 days, I had something on me, and I went into the training room, obviously. I'm like, I need to get this cleared up. Robert Mathis goes, this mother, one tackle in your story was bad. Let's talk about football, though. This weekend, massive game for the Browns, okay? 4-1 this year. Haven't won a playoff game since 1995. They've lost 16 straight in Pittsburgh. This feels like the team, though, that if they were to go into Pittsburgh, which, by the way, looks very good, this feels like the team that could get it done. How do you see the weekend going? Do you fear that potentially Ben being 23-2-1 against the Browns and the last 16 in Pittsburgh have gone the Steelers' way? Do you fear that the stats matter in this, or do you feel like this is a whole new Browns team going into Pittsburgh?
Oh, I feel like this is a whole new Browns team.
Here we go.
And the detriment of the Steelers is going to be they're used to the same old brand. And this Browns team has no inkling. The players don't have the intrinsic experience of knowing the rivalry and how important the rivalry is. So, and I've talked to a lot of the players. I'm around the team. I do pre-game shows and post-game shows around this team. They don't have the same intrinsic value traditionally that the team has. And so they don't know of it's a rivalry between us and the Steelers. I hear everybody talking about it. This is a different team fundamentally through and through. And you have two great running backs in Chubb and Kareem. Chubb is down. But, however, now you still have a 1B, 1A running back in Kareem Hunt who also catches the ball, which is another added bonus. Stefanski uses the fullback position unlike any other at the most random time, which is good. He utilizes the tight ends, which I felt would be the highest percentage passing plays because they use them a lot in training camp. But you have Odell and Jarvis and a host of talented wide receivers, I think arguably the best in the NFL in our receiving core and in our offense that you can use. You have so much talent that they don't have to worry about what the Steelers have. They are worried about themselves and how to spread the ball around to attack this Steelers defense. I don't think the Steelers played anybody yet to really challenge them. But the Browns are battle tested. They've already faced the Baltimore Ravens the first game. In my opinion, they weren't ready. They didn't have no preseason games and yada, 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 COVID, blah, blah, blah. They weren't ready. I can say that. And the Ravens, a hell of a football team. But when you talk about going down to Dallas and you talk about playing Cincinnati Bengals, a team you should win, they won that. And then going to Dallas and handling them, that was showing that they were battle tested. Then facing the Colts, our beloved Colts, and the top defense in passing, top defense in rushing. They didn't have a loud day in the rushing game, but they did steadily run the ball effectively. And even in the end of the game, it mattered. A second, third string back came in and bust off a run for 20 yards. So their defensive line and offensive line have been tremendously excellent for the Cleveland Browns, and I think that's where they'll win this battle, the game. Defensive line and offensive line. Myles Garrett had won 3 straight games with a strip sack turnover that turned the game around and solidified the game. So handling Myles Garrett, Ogunjobi, the defensive line and the offensive line will be the tail of this Pittsburgh Cleveland rivalry, and that's how they're going to win the game, the Browns.
Well, let's talk about it, because Ben Roethlisberger isn't just going to throw the ball to the Cleveland Browns like Phillip Rivers did. You know what I mean? I mean, Phillip Rivers was just like, hey, here you go, here you go. He did that a couple times, but to the Browns' credit, when the play was there to be made, they made it. And it feels like that is something that the Browns, that's potentially something in the past the Browns wouldn't do. Like when the play was there to make maybe a drop instead of a pick six there. Instead of maybe Jarvis Landry throwing an absolute dime down the field, maybe that's a miss. Odell Beckham on that end around, a la what Cribbs used to do for the team. Instead of going around and scoring a touchdown, he would get tackled for a 14-yard loss. It does feel like the Browns are potentially changing, and it seems like they're very business model. Like, hey, we just got to keep it. We haven't really done anything yet. We got to keep it moving, and that's a big difference. Josh, we can't thank you enough for joining us, brother. You're the absolute man. It's great to hear from you.
Man, thank you for having me, Pat. I love you, man. You're doing so many big things now. I never imagined you would be greater post-football, but now I'm a believer, man. Comedy, sports, everything you do, everything you touch is golden, brother. Keep it going.
Well, to be honest, I appreciate that. It's not true, but can we talk about the Team Cribbs Foundation? I know I got a chance to kind of watch along this on the internet. I would like you to talk about it, because anytime players give back to the community, I think it should be talked about, because anytime a player fucks up in the community, it's talked about. It never really gets talked about how much players give back to the community. Can you talk about the Team Cribbs Foundation?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We partner with other foundations that may be struggling. We partner with different inner city groups, children, any cause. Our motto is no cause left behind. So we try to touch all part and all facets of the community and whatever needs. So we basically reach out to different foundations, different community organizations, and we basically come at them with everything, all the connections that I have and that the city has, and say, hey, where do you need us? What do you need? How can we help? And then we go in and affect the community in a positive stance. A lot of times we try not to look for any media attention or nothing, but I specialize personally in helping out like you do, Pat, and trying to get the younger guys that are playing now to, you know, learn how to give back effectively, how to use their organizations effectively and help out and show yourself helping out instead of just signing a football and signing a jersey, but actually go and visit these kids and let them see your face.
Well, and feel some actual fulfillment, because that's real whenever you feel like you've actually helped somebody. How can we help Team Cribbs Foundation?
Well, you can go to Team Cribbs Foundation on Instagram. We have our website up there on IG. My IG as well, the Team Cribbs Foundation is on there. If you click in the links, and you can donate or just DM us to ask us what we're doing next and try to get involved in any way. So we're looking for not just money donations, but memorabilia, any like books, things that we're doing like that. So figure out what we're doing next. We list them all on our site, and just help out any way you can. And if you're helping out in your own way, we would love to hear about it and to highlight you on our website.
I'll tell you this, Cribbs, this is the best interview I've ever done with a 58-year-old brain. I appreciate you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Cribbs. Appreciate you, man.
All right, baby. Take care.
You too. I did not know I was the only kicker that ever tackled him.
That's pretty cool.
That's interesting. That's because that's why as soon as he came to the Colts, like we had he came literally right up to me, and like we were like sat next to each other in meetings and everything like that. So it was pretty.
I think I love that guy.
He's awesome.
He's amazing.
Everybody talks about him on return. People forget, like on kickoff coverage, back whenever there was a wedge, he was
breaking it.
He was the guy, right? He was the guy. And on punt, he was the gunner that was going down. I mean, like Cribbs was, and they had him on offense. They signed him like an 8-year deal or something. I forget about it. It was like a 7-year deal or 8-year deal. I remember it not being great business for Cribbs, but I think Cribbs was just pumped to be there. He went to Kent State. He's an Ohio guy. So it's like,
quarterback.
Whenever he came, he was quarterback. Whenever I went on my visit to Kent State, he was quarterback of the team. We had a great time. I assume his college life was a good time, if I had to guess, but he was a good teammate, everything like that. We have some breaking news that happened while we were chatting with Josh Cribbs. Tom Pelissaro tweets that it's another Patriots player who tested positive for COVID-19 per source. A second positive test is still going through the process to confirm. The team has been doing meetings virtually today, practice and media availability have been officially canceled. And Schefter says, what is there an update from Schefter? Schefter says if the game could not be played on Sunday, the NFL would be presented with its toughest scheduling challenge to date. Both teams, the Patriots and Broncos, had their byes last weekend, and bye flexibility is gone. I said that at some point this week, there's probably going to be a Week 18 announcement. I don't want to dance or do a victory lap, but I thought it would come on Wednesday. Here we are on Friday. We still have another day. Is that going to have to happen? Or should we start connecting dots here and say that the Colts had 5 false positives this morning? If the Patriots have a positive, can we potentially guess that maybe those are coming from the same potential lab, a la what happened in New Jersey this past training camp when 77 false positives came? Is this another false positive? Bill Belichick and the boys have to go and do their work from home today. If it does come out to be a false positive, like the 4 that came this morning from the Indianapolis Colts, we move forward and don't even talk about this as if it's nothing. If it is another positive, what the hell's going on in the Patriot way that we can't keep COVID out of there? Or is this just even more of an example of you can do everything right and COVID can still make its way in there?
I mean, we're checking fields, MetLife Stadium. We're checking the fields. Can we check the laboratories here? Because if it's another false positive, we need to get some lab checks.
Wow.
Okay?
It could be a controversy around the laboratory. Our sources are saying that it's the backup center, which, by the way, not 100% sure if that's accurate or not. I have no idea if that's accurate. It just came in a message here. But if it's the backup center, let's assume offensive lineman, probably buying in.
Yeah.
This is potential false positive. I'm not going to guarantee it because that's, a lot goes into that. But I would assume this is a false positive or hope that it's a false positive. Yeah. If it is positive, we hope whoever has it, if it's said center, hope you're healthy, hope you're okay. Yeah. The thing now is, will they have to reschedule a game because one person got it who potentially wasn't even going to play to begin with? I'm intrigued to see how it all plays out. Will Week 18 already be instated? And if Week 18 is already instated and this continues to happen, does that mean there's going to be a Week 19, Week 20? Because we do know the hotels, 4 extra weeks in Tampa. Maybe they're already bracing themselves for a potential 4-week buffer at the end of the season.
Silver lining, we know it's not our best player on offense or defense. So I mean,
we don't know that.
We don't.
Well, that could be Cam Newton again.
A double?
Well, we don't know. Did the antibodies quit? We don't know.
Jeez. He's a vegan, though.
Update from Tom Pelissaro. So the Patriots have 1 player confirmed positive for COVID-19, while a second positive test for another individual is still going through the process of being confirmed. Their first positive test since last Saturday's round of testing. So they already have 1 confirmed positive. Now a second positive test for another individual is still going through. So the Patriots have a official 3rd positive in the locker room of the New England Patriots, the Patriot way. Now will there be a 4th that is going through the process? So it was not a false positive. Everything's happening very quickly here. This was literally tweeted out 1 minute ago. Wild times to be in the Patriots, wild times to be in the NFL, wild times to be the laboratories who have false positives and real positives happening alongside of each other. This is a incredibly crazy NFL existence.
Yeah, I mean, I would be bummed, but after that slaughter the Titans put on, we can't rule out that COVID's going to make the Patriots, 10 times better.
Well, the thing about it is the Patriots here, is there another team that would take advantage somehow of having a Week 18 game or a Week 19 game?
No.
They would figure out a way to work it in. They would probably put somebody on IR on like Week 14, bring them back. They'll figure out a way to work the entire system.
Yeah.
It feels like a Week 18 is inevitable. Who knows if that'll be announced today, if the Patriots get their game postponed or the Broncos get this game postponed. But here we are. COVID's coming back again. Guess who's back? Back again. COVID's back. Don't tell or see or touch any friends.
No.
Okay? Lock that sumbitch down from what we're being told.
I mean, in optimistic news, there's been player positives before this close to the game, and they've played the game still. So,
Yeah.
Hour 1 is coming to an end here. Ramon Foster, former Steelers offensive guard for 11 years, who retired this past offseason. Now he's the host of the morning show on The Zone in Nashville.
Nice.
Can't wait to chat with him in the second hour. We'll also take some of your phone calls on this Feel Good Friday. 1-888-MAD-DOG-6. The lines are currently filled, but whenever we hang somebody up, it's like kicking somebody out of the club that's at capacity. We can let somebody in. We would like to add more phone lines so we get more people on there because it's always busy, but we appreciate all the callers. We'll talk to them on the other side. We'll also talk to Ramon Foster about this Browns-Steelers matchup. Josh Cribbs says he feels very good about the Browns because it's not the same old Brownies. It's actually a very new team. It's their best team they've had in a long time. Will that beat up the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend? We'll talk to Ramon about that. We'll talk to you. Also, Lev Bell, COVID, Wild Feel Good Friday, October 16th. This is the Pat McAfee Show. We're back on the other side.
The Packers are healthy. I think the Bucs are still a little beat up, and with Vitae not being in there in the defensive front, I think that hurts them. I don't know if I want to go against Aaron Rodgers. You know, who's the better quarterback? Brady's got the name, but I think that, you know, Rodgers is the better quarterback here, and Devontae Adams is going to play. So I'm leaning right now. I haven't made a pick, but I'm leaning towards Green Bay.
Packers also great coming off a bye, 9-3-2, their last 14 against the spread.
It's because Aaron camps out on his property.
Yeah.
What were they last year, though, since LaFleur has been the coach for, do you know what it is last year? Because that would be something I would like to look up.
Are you?
Well, I'm saying 9-3-2. I mean, what is that? Fucking
Aaron Rodgers, baby. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters, Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Hey, that's
Number
all you
12,
had to say.
dude.
That's all you had to say.
I'm
Tuesdays.
We're just
dude, in this office.
I'm just tired of waiting for the Bucs to show up. You know what I mean?
Well,
you keep betting on them, and it's just not happening. I can't do it anymore.
Is Big Brother back on right now?
Yeah, and I believe it's an all-star cast.
Really?
Yeah.
Season 18, I believe.
Really?
We're way past season 18.
Oh, I don't know. I put it on the other day because you guys were speaking so highly of it. It is definitely a cool show. It's just Survivor, but it doesn't suck.
You don't like Survivor?
No. I mean, like, their living conditions don't
This
suck.
is season 22.
All right.
Good year
It's
for
an all-star one.
cast.
Yeah.
Any big names?
Julie Chan.
No.
They got her.
What?
I know they've been trying to get her for a couple seasons now.
Pretty sure she's hosted every single season. I believe I stopped watching after BB11.
You know, that's right. She is the host.
She is, yeah.
Trying to get her forever.
Yeah, for 22 seasons now.
Shut up.
Next.
Wow.
Mr. Aaron Rodgers. How was the bye week? You weren't allowed to leave. You weren't allowed to do anything. What did you do?
I didn't do anything. I had the COVID test every morning, just like all of our guys. And
Make sure you vote. Listen, if you don't vote, not having Aaron Rodgers Tuesday ever again, okay? Make sure you vote.
first Tuesday in November, right? So we're just going to skip this show.
No. Did you watch anything like maybe Ted Lasso during the bye week to help that entire thing out?
I didn't watch Ted Lasso.
Jesus. Come on. Unbelievable. Don't vote, Aaron. Hey, don't vote.
You know, we had a tent in nature, just camping on my own property.
You camped out on your own property during the bye week?
Yeah, I'm kidding about that.
Oh, my.
Did you really wear number 40 at West Virginia?
Yeah, it was my GPA, my favorite drink.
Oh, you are wearing shorts.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Oh.
Pat doesn't believe me that they don't give Toradol shots there.
They don't give Toradol shots. But Age would drink this green legume drink that I'm sure was legal, but it made his body he had the worst gas you could
How do you maintain that high level for so long? Is it like super competitive? Like you have to be an ultra competitive human being to be a quarterback?
Well, I think it starts with being hyper competitive. You know, I think that's a trait with all the long time great players is you just have. I love to compete. I think the most important thing is you have to be self-motivated, and again, that may seem like a standard statement, but it's not. I mean, not every player is self-motivated.
Hey, how's Jordan Love doing? We don't hear much about him.
You know, this is a good time for him to learn, to see what it looks like, to see what the week's preparation look like, and just kind of soak it all up.
And does that change where you throw the ball to people if they're more of a body catcher or hands catcher or anything like that?
You know, anybody that catches the ball with their hands, it just changes the whole catch rate. It changes the whole confidence you have in throwing them. But anybody that naturally catches the ball with their hands probably gets a few more looks. I would say this: there's places that I would like to go in the future, and one of them is Egypt.
Ooh. When were the pyramids and the Sphinx? When were they constructed? Also, like, what kind of technology did they use?
It was aliens. Say it.
Yeah, it was definitely aliens.
Bingo. Yeah, there it is, by the way.
Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Feel Good Friday, October 16th, 2020. Hour 2 begins immediately after this Twine beat drop. All the boys are here at Tone Diggs, at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt, at Viva Lazito. And watch what's about to happen here. We are following some live news updates on the docket.
Hell yeah.
The New England Patriots have one confirmed positive case of COVID on this Friday, October 16th. And this follows, obviously, their Cam Newton and Stephon Gilmore positive cases of a week ago. Also, there is a second Patriot player that has had a first positive result on a COVID test. They are testing that yet again to get confirmation. So possibly here, after we find the results of the confirmation positive test, possibly 2 more New England Patriots players have COVID-19. What will the NFL do with this? How will the NFL go about it? Will they have to reschedule these games against the Patriots and the Broncos? And the Patriots and Broncos both have had their bye weeks already. Will they have to add an extra week to the season to make up for games that are potentially being postponed when they can no longer shell game the NFL season and shuffle games around to make things happen? And why is it the New England Patriots, people are asking? This team has the Patriot way. They're known for being the most disciplined team. Just 1 week after their quarterback getting sacked with no timeouts left right before half, in scoring range and letting the clock just run out in situational awareness. Now they have yet another positive test and maybe another one on the way, when most teams, almost all teams, have been able to figure out how to keep COVID out of the building. What is going on in New England? People are asking at Boston Connor.
It's absolute sabotage. I mean, it's always been the Patriots versus the world, but now we have to go Patriots versus the world and the COVID world. I mean, we have 3 worlds battling us right now. It is what it is. We'll bounce back. It's Cam Newton's team. We'll be fine.
Other COVID news this morning, the Indianapolis Colts had 4 false positives in their building. They are not releasing whether or not it was player, personnel, coach, who it was, but they had 4 false positives. Those false positives that weren't known to be false positives originally shut down their building today. They take on the Bengals this weekend at home. Who knows what would have happened if these false positives come on Saturday or Sunday morning, day of game. That is all going to be something I assume we are going to get to watch unfold relatively soon with the way this is going. 1 positive here, a couple false positives there, another positive here, another one here, this there. It's like, how is this all going to stop? Hopefully everybody will be able to buckle it down and lock it in.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. You know what I mean? Lock in.
Well, let's break out those contact tracers and let's lock them in. Let's find out who these guys were touching. Let's make sure it was Hoyer and not Cam Newton. And let's go forward.
And in the football world, funny you say that, rather large name, Nick Saban. Got positive COVID-19. Week of biggest game of year for Alabama, hosting Georgia this weekend, which, by the way, is the site of College Game Day. I assume there's going to be some incredible conversation about that tomorrow morning. But Nick Saban getting it is like a football royal getting it, obviously. Nobody could have figured this. He's coaching from a voice of God Zoom call situation. He actually said that he could see more of the field this way. Norvell said the same exact thing. It's very interesting because if you look back in Alabama's history, Bear Bryant used to coach from a tower. What will they do with Nick Saban this weekend? I guess in college, you have to have numerous negative tests in a row before you can get back into it. Doesn't matter if you're a coach or a player. Has he had any negative tests? Is Saban potentially the quickest recoverer of COVID in history if they're thinking he's going to make it back 4 days after his first false positive? Maybe, but he's Nick Saban. It is wild what COVID's doing. And all the people that said football can't come back unless they do a bubble. Football shouldn't come back unless they do a bubble, or a vaccine is found. Every time a positive comes out, whether it's Nick Saban, which is a football god, or if it's a couple more Patriots, or it's these false positives came out, they do a victory lap. And I would like to speak up for the football community that wanted them to play through this, like every other league has been able to do it. I think it's going rather well, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
If you look at this, one positive test results in a postponement of a game. How many games have happened where there hasn't even been one single positive result when it comes to players, coaches, equipment managers, athletic trainers, interns, and all of those parts? I mean, this is taking, it's going to take all of us, they say. There's been some positives. Nobody knows where it comes from. How will this finish? Big Ten starts next week. They gave themselves zero buffer room to have any postponements for COVID. So who knows how that season will complete. But here we are following it literally in real time because this is a daily live show.
I was thinking, is there a potential for an outbreak in Alabama now because the players have an excuse to go to Nick and be like, I don't know how I got it, coach. How did you get it?
Well, I don't know if you would ever speak to Nick Saban like that. I'm not 100% sure how he is as a coach. I think I could guess. I don't know if there's a lot of people saying that. But it is intriguing because the athletic director and Nick Saban got it. And I don't know if it'll come out how it happened. I don't know if it'll come out how the Tennessee Titans got it, right? Because who knows if that's a HIPAA thing and there's medical involved and this and all that. So I don't know how any of it happens. I guess in college football, right, they have the
tracers.
The tracer, the contact tracers. We haven't heard anybody from Alabama be out because of the contact tracer, which is very interesting. So they must have found it as soon as Saban got it, potentially, which is good news, which is hopefully why everybody's testing at such a regular rate that they are so they can catch it immediately so it doesn't spread. This will be twice, by the way, that the Patriots will have players on their team that have COVID and nobody else has gotten it. So does that mean that Bill Belichick is adhering to the protocols within their building more than everybody else? I think that is a little bit of a positive you can think about.
Yeah, and like you said, let's look at how many tests we took and how many are positive. We need to take a page out of the Merrill Hodge book and look at the denominator here, okay? There's been what? How many administered tests throughout the NFL? There's been what? 500,000 tests administered, and they've gotten what? 700 to 800 positives. I mean, that's what 0.024%. I just mathed off the top of my head. I don't know, but let's look at the Merrill Hodge denominator.
I don't know why you did that. There's also there's big Joe Buck news too. I mean, if you really want to do that type of thing that you just did right there, Joe Buck's calling like the biggest games of all time 7 straight days in a row. Unbelievable.
No big deal.
Unbelievable.
Let's respect these guys.
Has to know everybody's stats. Has to know everybody's hometown. Has to know every single player. Has to know everything. Bouncing back and forth. Good for Joe Buck, by the way. His hair is not that color anymore, by the way.
No, it's not.
It looks much better.
Have we talked about
We have not.
what has happened there? And Chris
Slim
Berman.
Shady?
And Chris Berman.
Yeah, Berman's.
What's going on? Is that what's going to happen to my hair whenever I get that age? Potentially. Joe Buck's hair, by the way, looks good. It just looks very different than what it looked like in the past. This next week he's about to have is going to be insane. Sunday, Bucks, Packers, rather large game. Monday, Bills, Chiefs, rather large game. Tuesday, World Series Game 1. Wednesday, World Series Game 2. Thursday, Giants, Eagles. All right, kind of take that day off, I guess. Friday, World Series Game 3. Saturday, World Series Game 4. Shout out to Buck going 7 straight days in big-ass games.
Well, and I'm assuming
Sunday.
he's got another big game on Sunday, and then that's assuming that the World Series is a 4-0 sweep. He's probably working 10, 11 days in a row.
I would assume that he's flying commercial and everything like that.
Yeah, probably.
So big T's and P's to Joe Buck's immune system, by the way.
Be careful.
For this next 9 days being on the road. Tom Pelissaro just tweeted that as of right now, there is no change to the status of the Patriots-Broncos game. As of now, he's told. And by the way, we have to remember, in moments like this, as news is breaking rapidly, whether it's the Le'Veon Bell's news last night, false positive news this morning for the Colts, or now the Patriots outbreak, Ian Rappaport's getting all these text messages.
Oh, yeah, every single one.
Ian Rappaport's getting every single one. And old Timmy P down here gets to break all the news out of the NFL Network. Good for Tom. They are a team, but this has to be absolutely eating Ian Rappaport alive to be watching all this big news.
Bright side, though, I mean, everybody who's texting him, he's replying with his promo code, and they are probably going over to Manscaped and getting, a new Lawnmower 3.0 with promo code RAPSHEET.
Or the Weed Whacker that you can get, which is a nose and hair trimmer that has a 9,000 RPM motor in there.
Seems dangerous, but
no nicks, snags, or cuts at all. You would think it was dangerous, but they actually have a skin-safe technology, a proprietary skin-safe technology that actually protects your skin. That's what Manscaped does.
Absolutely.
That motor's electric, too.
Hey, trim the bushes, tree stands taller. It's optical illusion. Do what you got to do.
Hell yeah.
Let's go to Dalton in Evansville. Dalton, what's going on, bub? Big D.
Hey, happy Feel Good Friday, guys.
Hey, happy Feel Good Friday to you.
So earlier this week, the Titans played the victim role. Kareem Hunt now comes out and says this week's game is for Miles. So my question is there an outbreak of the victim virus going around the NFL too?
All right, great question there. Yeah, because the Titans were playing victim because everybody was against them, but everybody was against them because they were the only team, it seemed, to not be able to keep COVID out of their building, and it caused the first rattle in the NFL season that has been embattled with distraction and controversy around COVID. They came out and said that everybody's being rude to them, right? Which, by the way, all the people that are being rude to them would say, well, you fucking deserved it, okay? This is what happens. But Tennessee Titans are like, do we? I mean, Nick Saban just got it. You don't think Nick Saban's being as safe as possible? So you can see both sides there. With this one's for Miles is a very interesting statement. Very interesting statement because Myles Garrett, I think even Myles Garrett has said that shouldn't have done what he did. Attempted murder in a football field. Right? Yeah. I mean, that is a...
thoughts and prayers to Miles for hitting someone else with a helmet. Thoughts and prayers to him.
Their helmet, by the way. Yeah. The eyes will be on Mason Rudolph and Myles Garrett postgame. I don't know what's the game on Fox, CBS?
I would assume CBS. It's a 1 o'clock.
Okay, so we don't know if the CBS crew will keep an eye on Mason and Myles afterwards because they'll probably want to see Ben and Baker and all that stuff, what they do. Because do we have a Tom Brady, Nick Foles situation?
Right.
Or a Patty Mahomes, what's-his-face situation with the guy who didn't go shake his hand after? You get it. Yeah, they're going to keep their eyes on that. But I do hope somebody, if they're... What do they have, 7,500 fans in the stands there?
Yeah.
I do hope somebody that either listens to the show or that we know keeps a cell phone. Not like what Zito did for the New England Patriots last year whenever he was recording the sideline of the Buffalo Bills.
Which we appreciate.
And he tweeted it to at the Patriots. Please use it. But we're saying if you could potentially just keep an eye on old Myles and Mason, we would appreciate it because I don't know if they have publicly spoken. I would assume at some point those two adults in the NFL, they share a brotherhood of football, will talk it out hopefully and come out on the other side of it. But the things that have been alleged to have said and then the actual incident that happened, that is the drama that we are here for, and if you can cover that, we'd appreciate it.
We got Nance and Romo, baby.
Nice. Okay.
Is that a FanDuel player prop?
Will Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph dap up, punch, or blow each other off, which would be very interesting. Will they cold shoulder it? Possible. Will they go up to each other and maybe have a little bit of a heated argument? Possible.
I hope they hug.
I don't think Mason Rudolph is going to be a guy that wants to cause a distraction by getting into a heated argument with their best player at this point. But maybe he will, or maybe they'll hug. Hey, they'll hug it out and say, hey, bygones be bygones. You attempted to kill me.
Yeah, I mean,
on national television, and you say that I said something terrible, but a lot of people said that I didn't say anything terrible. We'll ask Ramon Foster, one of the offensive linemen for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if he heard of anything or thought anything could have possibly happened last year. He's joining us here in like 10 minutes, but I'll be intrigued to see how that plays out, and the game's going to be awesome. Yeah. It is going to be an awesome game. Don't love that the spread has gone to 3.5, to be completely candid. Don't love that at all.
Nor should you.
Because that changed since me entering what I would like.
Well, that wasn't your original bet.
It wasn't your.
Yeah.
And by the way, I got a text this morning. I was like, yeah, you're locked in or whatever, the 3.5 or whatever. I'm like,
that's nice.
Oh, that wasn't what I. By the way, was not what I. But it's okay. We will survive. We will survive. Hey. Let's go to Julian in Chicago. What's going on, Julian?
Big J.
Hey, what's up, Pat? How you guys doing?
Not too shabby. How are you, bub?
I'm doing well. Shout out to all the boys. Damn, that is awesome. My question today is, well, also my birthday, sorry. I just want to talk to you guys.
Happy birthday, dude. Happy birthday.
Did you bust us?
Attaboy, Julian. Happy birthday, bud.
Chicago. Stop Bears.
Bear down.
Bear down. So, no, I just want to say thank you guys. You guys are awesome, man. I've been listening to you guys, obviously, since quarantine and all that stuff and before. So you guys have made, every day kind of, fun and something to look forward to. So.
Oh, we appreciate you, Julian. Happy birthday to you, bud. Have another great trip around the sun, will you?
I'll try. Thank you, man.
All right, cheers. Let's go to John in South Carolina. That was a nice little
I'll tell you.
Good guy.
Good Friday. Like, hey, it's my birthday. Hey, how's it going? It's my birthday. Just want to say hello.
You guys are setting the standard for sports talk shows.
Bingo.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for that.
Feel Good Friday, baby.
Yeah,
Keep it coming.
I also want to say
Stop.
that Atlanta sucks.
Whoa.
Like, I hope they go 0-16. Like, I'm hoping they tank for Trevor Lawrence. Matt Ryan fucking sucks. I just want to know what you think about that.
Well, thank you, John. Thank you for the call. We appreciate that. It does feel like the tide has turned rather quickly on Matt Ryan down there in Atlanta, and it's not just them, by the way. I think I have I've said that I like Matt Ryan as a person. I think he has great personality, but I'm not sure any quarterback has had the career length that he has had and been the level that he is currently at for the team that he is at, for the amount of money he's currently getting paid for the team he's at. I just think he is in a very interesting spot, and maybe the entire world was burning around him. But if you listen to Michael Lombardi, who's a former general manager and co-host of Hammer Don, which is a gambling podcast that airs on youtube.com/the Pat McAfee Show Monday, Thursday, Fridays at 3:30. It is really a football 101, that class. Listen to Lombardi. Lombardi said, what's the old quote? Bankruptcy takes a while and then it comes quick. He said that's kind of what it's like with quarterbacks. And I think it's the same for kickers too, by the way. I haven't really tested the theory because there's not a lot of kickers that kind of lasted that long. But it feels like in any position where it potentially takes power to move something, the body at some point is going to inevitably catch up to you. And he says that's why bankruptcy takes a while and then it comes quick. And when it comes quick, you have to acknowledge it and you have to address it very quickly. It feels like Matt Ryan potentially that happened. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I watch enough film on Matt Ryan that I can give an accurate statement, but I do know years ago when I was still in the league, he threw a Hail Mary that was 12 to 15 yards short. And I just think that's a very interesting thing. He's always had that Matty Ice appeal where he could throw the rock around and they're winning and stuff like that. Are those days long gone? I don't know. It feels like it. They're going to have to probably rebuild that whole thing, but they owe Matt Ryan like $100 million. So unless they can trade his contract somewhere else and do a full rebuild, I mean, it's going to be tough to do. And Arthur Blank said that he will not be in the decision-making business with the new GM on whether or not Matt Ryan's in the future or whatever. He appreciated Matt Ryan. So the opportunity for whoever is obviously there. It's just who knows how it's going to go with that contract, because I'm not sure you're going to be able to unload that. And would you want to start your GM or head coaching career with a salary cap that is already lower than it normally is because of 2020 and COVID, but also with an extra $40 million in there if you move on from it? I don't know. That's going to be a little bit difficult. That's going to be a tough spot, I think.
All these bad teams talking about tanking for Trevor, but what about failing for Fields? I mean, are we really ruling out that Fields can be just as good as Trevor Lawrence?
He's from Atlanta, so.
Yeah. And by the way, if you talk to all the quarterback humans, the Elite 11 QBs who have seen Justin Fields his entire life and Trevor Lawrence his entire life, it's like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is obviously getting a lot of talk about because quarterbacks that look exactly like Trevor Lawrence have been the standard basically for a long time. All the people that know the quarterbacks, though, they say like Justin Fields, guy in Ohio State, like he's a guy too. Like so everybody's banking on Trevor Lawrence. And by the way, they're probably going to be, a lot of teams are potentially going to be in the same position as the Chargers were this year, where they're like, we're cool with Herbert. Or we're cool with Herbert. We're cool with Tua. Yeah. And if they want to miss on Joey Burrow, we're cool with that too. Yeah. The Chargers going into draft night literally just were like, all right, we'll let all these other people make the decision for their futures and hope that they're right, and then we'll just take either way because we're okay with all three of them. I would assume the Justin Fields thing is going to be the same. It's like if we get one or two, great spot to be in. And if both teams are 0-16, is there a point differential that's next?
They have to play each other.
Like an extra game?
That week 18?
Imagine the team that they'd put out there. Zito would be starting center for one of them. They'd be trying to lose so bad.
Get a coin. Is
it a coin toss? I wonder what it is. Because there's only been, two teams that have ever gone 0-16 in the history of the NFL? The Detroit Lions obviously pulled off that feat.
Probably like strength of schedule.
It is strength of schedule, yeah.
So if you're an Atlanta fan, you're checking out the strength of schedule and just hoping that the teams that beat you are worse than the teams that beat the New York Jets.
That division,
their division's better.
They're all 3-2 in that division.
So it sucks for the Falcons. If you lose, you're probably not going to get the number one overall pick because the Jets are playing worse teams on a regular basis, right? So the team that loses to the worst teams probably earns number one overall, right? Than the teams that lose to the better teams.
Yeah, if you have a higher strength of schedule, it makes sense that you would get the two.
You would get the two. Yeah. If you have the worst strength of schedule in those two, you would get the number one because you lost to worse teams than the team that won 16.
That would make sense, but that would make sense because then you are clearly the worst team.
Yeah, because you've lost to the worst opponents. Yeah. So it would be, by the way, hilarious that we were in that particular situation to even talk about it. This has only happened 2 times in the history of 101 years of the league. Now we're like, are 2 teams potentially going to go completely defeated this year? And if you're Trevor Lawrence, by the way, if 2 teams actually do attempt to do that, it's got to be hard to remain humble, bro. Yeah. It's got to be hard to remain I'm down here in Clemson doing my thing or whatever, got that girl on TikTok that looks like me, and I'm doing this whole thing with Clemson, and I'm doing this whole thing against college defenses where I just throw for 7,000 yards whenever I want or whatever, and that whole thing. And also while I'm doing this and going to class and all that, like there's there's NFL franchises right now that are just ruining everything they can inside of them to try to get me. That would be difficult to remain humble if I'm Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, it's measured by the winning percentage of the team's opponents. The team that played the weaker schedule is awarded the higher pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew that.
Makes sense.
Didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we knew that, I think. I honestly do believe that.
Got to the bottom of
we
it.
probably. Oh, jeez. I got two computers. I just typed on this computer.
I do it all the time.
To get the thing for that computer. We have to get to a break because Ramon Foster is on the other side here. Yes. The conversation around Ramon Foster, I want to let you know as we go into this here because you got like 4 minutes to decide whether or not you want to listen to it. We are certainly going to talk about what went down on that field when Myles Garrett grabbed that helmet and swung it at Mason Rudolph.
Have to.
We are certainly going to talk about what happened afterwards in the Pittsburgh Steelers locker room. We'll talk about what happened between the Cleveland Browns and Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. But mostly, those pedal bars in Nashville that he is currently living, are those things still strolling around spreading COVID to the Tennessee Titans? We're going to ask these questions.
Good.
This is the Pat McAfee Show here on SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel 82. The song that's playing is Huey Mack, Complicated. He is a rapper, singer, pop star out of Morgantown, West Virginia. This is his latest single. He said we could play it. Hopefully he doesn't give us a strike. We'll be back on the other side. Take a piss. Ramon Foster joins us. This is the Pat McAfee Show. The NFL.com power rankings have come out.
Let's go.
We have to judge the power rankings here after week 5, which saw us have a Tuesday night football game, a Monday night football game, an entire Sunday slate. Sitting atop the NFL.com week 6 power rankings are the Green Bay Packers, who take home at Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers playing better football than he's ever played. The defense is playing great, and it feels like that team coming out of a bye week is only going to get better and better. AJ, do you like the Packers at 1? Is this a good thing for the Packers, or do you think this is a potential? Too much pressure, too much weight to bear, knowing that you're the number 1 team on NFL.com, AJ.
Well, I don't think the players are going to care too much. They're not going to be like, oh, did you guys see the latest power rankings? Like, I don't know which. There's 720 websites that do power rankings. Which one are you referring to? And NFL.com, we're number 1. That's a lot of pressure, guys. Like, do you think Aaron's having that talk right now with Devontae Adams?
He should be. This is the league's website. And number 2, Kansas City Chiefs. They haven't looked great in a couple games. They still get wins, but they beat the hell out of the number 3 team, Baltimore Ravens, which makes everybody think the Kansas City Chiefs will be able to figure it out, but who knows if they will. Lamar Jackson bounced back. At 4, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Shout out to the AFC North at 3 and 4. Tennessee Titans are at 5. They took 2 weeks off, didn't need practice, just beat the hell out of the Buffalo Bills, who are ranked 7th, 1 below the Seattle Seahawks. Los Angeles Rams at the 8th. Is that a quiet team moving up the board? I do believe. Number 9, Cleveland Browns. AJ Hawk, your thoughts on the Cleveland Browns? Is this the year that the dog pound gets to celebrate some shit?
Yeah, what's that? What does that mean? A playoff berth? Is that a celebration for them, or do you have? Is it Super Bowl or bust?
Above 500 would be a party in Cleveland. It looks like they're well on their way. At 10, the New Orleans Saints, who might be playing at LSU Stadium because the New Orleans mayor won't allow any fans in the Superdome. But in Baton Rouge, they got 26,000 people there. Are the Saints going to play at LSU? Who knows? They're ranked 10th right now. Will Drew Brees' arm be able to stay on his body throughout the entire thing? Patriots, Bucks. Patriots ranked above the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 11-12. Bill Belichick is above Tom Brady. Will that remain? Darren Waller and the Las Vegas Raiders. Then the Panthers, Cardinals, Bears, Chargers, Colts. Damn. 19 Vikings. Then the Dolphins. Then the Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. Cowboys, by the way, AJ's pick for the Super Bowl at 22. Texans 24. They got no coach. They got no GM. Shout out to Romeo Crennel. They're having fun. They might get really good really quick. Detroit Lions aren't the worst. Shout out to Detroit. Cincinnati Bengals 26. Broncos 27. Jags 28. Falcons 29. Washington football team, 30. 31, the football Giants. 32, the Jets. AJ, your thoughts on the last 10 there? Does it matter? They all just suck at the moment.
I think it's kind of unfair. I think the Giants should be behind the Jets. They need to swap 31 and 32.
Wow.
What? Wow. We will debate that tomorrow as only we can right here on the Pat McAfee Show, SiriusXM, Channel 82.
Life's so good these days, I can't complain. I don't care about yesterday. I don't need to know about who you with or where you go and stay. Hey, don't mean I love you any less. I just think we needed time. I know that shit was for the best. Yes, I got new hoes these days, and I got things I think but don't say. And you got things you put on your page to make me feel all types of different ways. Hey, you still gotta.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. Feel Good Friday, October 16th. Joining us now is a man who was an undrafted free agent and played for 11 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Former offensive guard, now morning show host on The Zone in Nashville, ladies and gentlemen, Ramon Foster.
Let's go, Ragu! That is an intro, man.
Hey, you deserved better. I'm going to let you know that. I did not know your nickname was the Big Ragu. That is on me for missing that.
You know what, man? If you miss something, I'm all right with that, man, because you don't miss a lot.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot. You're getting into this world now. You're a morning show host. How is that schedule? What are you up at, 4 a.m.?
Man, 4:45 is my wake up, man. After talking to people in the media, it was like, you sure you want to do this? I was like, you know what, I'm good. That first week kicked my ass, man, for real.
I could fathom that. That is an early thing. Yeah. You'll change your life around, and you'll be able to buy into the schedule that your whole life changes. And by the way, morning money is where all the money is in radio, so hopefully you keep crushing it down there. Let's talk about Nashville. Was it those pedal bars that got the COVID into the Tennessee Titans facility?
You know what, man? Everybody was pointing the fingers at the guys. I honestly think the guys were doing what they were supposed to do. You know, like I know, Nashville is a hot spot right now.
Oh, yeah.
For any and everybody that want to come here. If you meet somebody that's come to Nashville and said they had a bad time, it's probably like, well, what were you doing there?
Yes.
That's the real question you got to ask. So, man, it just happened. The guys and the league actually said they were doing the right thing. So it just sucks that they were the ones that everybody was shooting darts at.
Well, and they were the first ones. That's why I assume this is going to.
Yeah.
I assume this is going to happen to more and more teams. That's why whenever Jerry Jones was basically kick him off the tour, he came out and said that. And then other teams' fans, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, big time because it affected the Steelers directly. They're like, "Oh, kick him off." I'm like, you need to watch what you're saying because this could come into your locker room at any given time this season, and I don't think anybody could even realize it. Nick Saban got it. Let's assume that he's been dialed in. Now the Patriots have another outbreak. I mean, This is a wild time to be in the NFL, Ramon.
It is, man. And everybody's been congratulating. It's like, man, you picked the best time to retire. For real. I enjoyed the league, but can you imagine, though, having to decide if you were going to play or not, number one? But two, getting shut down. We end up talking to a Buffalo Bill, Lee Smith. And the one thing that he was just talking about, he was like, well, man, look, if this game get canceled and we don't get paid, there's going to be a lot of pissed off guys. Can you imagine being the guy that you were the reason, or the team that you were the reason they didn't get paid? That's a tough place to be in.
Well, the Tennessee Titans, they said that they're going to do an investigation on how it got in there. Who knows if that'll ever become public? And I assume at some point the NFL is going to add a Week 18 and then a potential Week 19 because who knows what's going to happen with the Patriots-Broncos this weekend. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Browns, though, because the Steelers right now, hot team. Ben Roethlisberger's all the way back. And this weekend, they are at home against a team that has not won in that stadium for 16 years at this point with the Cleveland Browns. We're less than 1 year removed from Myles Garrett taking Mason Rudolph's helmet off of his head and then trying to kill him with his same helmet. This seems like it's a brand new Browns team. What are your thoughts on how the weekend's game is going to go? And is there a little bit more juice in the Steelers building whenever it's Browns week as a guy that was there for 11 years?
You know, I grudgingly said that I think this Brown team is better. Everybody's seen what the Browns have done in the last 15 years, okay? So now seeing them finally look like they put it together. This Steelers defense, number one, going against this high-powered Browns offense is a matchup that I'm looking for. But then you throw in the Myles Garrett situation from last year, man, this is something that's going to be very interesting. Number one, Myles can't be mad because Mason's not playing. You know, I think it was Kareem Hunt that said this is for Myles. But, no, Myles got to handle his own thing. So the matchup that we got to see this weekend is going to be that O-line versus the D-line of Cleveland's D-line, of course, and the Steelers O-line, which I still think is one of the better ones in the league. And also just see if Ben can pick them apart. And if they don't let Baker create the way Baker does, man, I think they got a really good shot of winning. That defense, I'm just glad that I was on that team, man, because if you look at what Bud and TJ and Cam and just everybody on that group is doing, man, that is a scary defense to face.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. If I was a quarterback, I'd be pooping my pants nightly having to face against them. And that's legit. And you might be getting a call right now from the Pittsburgh Steelers telling you their exact game plan, but that would be very nice. But when you were on that field, right, because the Browns beat the Steelers in primetime television last year, and it was a big deal, right? Cleveland Browns fans are probably so pumped that they're getting a dub over Pittsburgh for their, 23-2-1 is Ben Roethlisberger's record against the Browns. I mean, it is not great. But then it got obviously a little bit smeared with the whole whack Mason Rudolph in the head with the helmet thing, and it became a different world. You were on the field at that moment.
Yeah.
What was it like while that was happening? Because that is something I think we've seen guys in the past potentially, but never actually fully go for it. That had to be a pretty surreal time to be alive out there.
It was, man. I guess it's a thing against Ohio teams. We went through a similar situation in Cincinnati also. Like, not that far, but it was a situation where I was like, man, what is going on? And we were on the field, and we said to ourselves, this is the one time that you guys actually beat us, and you can't even do it with class. So to see it actually go down where the helmet's coming off, the game was pretty much sold up at the time. And you really just had to ask yourself, like, what the hell is going on? Because nobody had ever seen it, and why are you that mad? Like, I'll say this, whatever he said that Mason said, I know Mason for a fact. And I know him in and out in a sense. Like, that's not something that was said. And I'll lay on that sword. If something comes out down the line about, hey, Mason actually did say that, I'll just come out and say I was totally wrong. But there's no way that he said that to him. Me knowing him, being around him, the guys that he hang around with, and just how he is in general, man. Whatever made him lose his noodle, man, I wish he would just say it, or whatever the case may have been behind it. But I support Mason on that cause. And it was really unnecessary. Like, the game was won. There was no need. So many guys got fined, suspended. Let's just keep it clean this weekend at least.
Okay, so losing your noodle talk here with the big rat guru, Ramon Foster. That was the first time I've seen Mike Tomlin ask to do media. Like, whenever it came out, when Myles Garrett said, well, this is what Mason Rudolph said, and it kind of like trickled out or whatever, Mike Tomlin never does media. Tries his best, I think, to stay away from media at all costs. He went on First Take, and he was like, the only reason why I'm doing this is because I want to let you know that Mason Rudolph did not say that. Like, that is not what I've talked to people around Mason Rudolph that were on the field. I know Mason Rudolph, he wouldn't say that. Would anybody have been in earshot of what was going on? Or is that just something that was so close that you just have to bank your knowledge of Mason Rudolph, the human, and know that he wouldn't do that?
You got to bank it on that, number one, because there's so much stuff that was going on before then. Honestly have asked him, like, hey, what exactly was it? Like, it wasn't, he was like, I just know it wasn't that. Like, this guy, he's a guy. Like, Pat, you know what it is being around the guys. Like, it's certain stuff when you're one of the guys that just doesn't happen. And that's one of those things, man. He ended up just reacting to something maybe he thought he heard, or just, I think, him just growing into this league, he'll always look back on that moment as like, man, I didn't have to do that. So it sucks for him because people have that reputation of him right now, and that tape is going to forever be out there. And whatever was said between those two, maybe they'll have a sit down without helmets one day and say, hey, well, this was all right.
Yeah, don't bring any weapons to the conversation. That'd be smart. Myles Garrett, after that happens, gets suspended. I assume he just went and worked out for the rest of the year and got faster, bigger, stronger. He gets rewarded with a long-term contract from new GM Andrew Berry, and he is playing, once again, like a potential defensive player of the year. You said that you like that offensive line. You think they're one of the best in the league. You were on that offensive line a year ago. What makes you say that? And what does Ben Roethlisberger add that maybe Mason Rudolph didn't add to the offense last year against Myles Garrett in that defense?
I do like that offensive line. One, yes, they're older team, but they're seasoned vets. Like, Alejandro is going to be the main guy to see him. And when you have Pouncey out there and DeCastro and just Chooks on the right side, like Matt Fowler, like, they're all guys that got experience. Yeah, the right tackle is very inexperienced for the most part with not having a whole lot of starts, but they know exactly what they are and what they got to do to keep being upright. And you mentioned Ben being in this game. I think everybody can see that he's not on a revenge tour, but hey, you guys kind of forgot about me. I kind of love what Ben has been doing this year, man. He's spreading the ball around. And what they did last year was we became one-dimensional when it came to playing games last year. We were without Ben. They stacked the box against us, and we just had a down year and still went 8-8. So that says a lot about what was coming back this entire year. So Ben is on a tear, and I'll be honest with you, I can't wait to see what this game is going to look like just because of the build-up behind it.
Ramon, the big news last night was your former teammate who you were in the locker room with a long time, Le'Veon Bell, leaving the Jets, going to the Chiefs. Now, a lot of people were like, don't bring him to our team. He's not a good locker room guy, stuff like that. You were in the locker room with him for a long time. What does he add to the Chiefs, and is he okay in that locker room?
So the thing about Le'Veon is this: he's not a bad locker room guy. I don't want that narrative to be out there. The situation that we had with him was more or less like, well, I thought you were all in. Okay, so, and the business side of it just happened. That's all it was. Le'Veon's a good dude. We talked after the Jets game last year. So to say he's a bad locker room guy, no. He's going to be a guy that's going to be a fun guy. He's a guy that's going to kick a freestyle, we know, because he's a rapper now. And however they can use him, they're going to. And I think he's going to buy into it, man. You guys know the situation in New York with the Jets. Like, they look like they were just going to bury this guy, and he has a whole lot of talent. I don't know if he's going to be huge in the running back position. Le'Veon's ability to be a pass catcher, to be, hey, okay, we're lining him up in the backfield, but we're going to motion him out to be able to catch, like in the slot. That's where they're going to be able to murder guys. I do think the concept of the rich getting richer, that's simply what happened in Kansas City right now. If you asking me, a perennial Pro Bowler, All-Pro guy, where am I going? I saw the list of, it was Bills, Chiefs, and Dolphins. Like, I'm picking the Chiefs. That's a no-brainer. When I saw the list of three, I was like, yeah. But him going to Pittsburgh, I just think it ran its course. And not to say there'll be any bad blood, because it's not. We all dapped up, laughed, had a good time after the Jets game last year. So there's no bad blood. It's just that, hey, business got in the way and it just fractured, but it's all good now.
He ring chasing, obviously, and why not? If you've accomplished everything that you've accomplished, Le'Veon Bell, and there has been numerous, to your point about we see the situation in New York, there has been numerous examples of dudes that get out from underneath the Adam Gase umbrella. And I mean, Ryan Tannehill almost broke his knee in half during a celebration, but it was so uncomfortable to watch. But he has become like the guy at this point. They're talking about his QBR being just like Patrick Mahomes is, leading the team and everything like that. And he was, I don't want to say terrible under Adam Gase, but he was a bad football player. Devontae Parker, Robbie Anderson, you name it. And so I think there's a lot that can happen. And something you said there that was most interesting to me is it's Le'Veon Bell, not Le'Veon Bell.
I always call him Le'Veon.
See, you don't even know.
No one knows.
But I mean, look at it. There's parents out here correcting announcers like, no, it's Patrick Mahomes.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's an interesting. It's an
I say
interesting
Le'Veon though.
The situation between Le'Veon Bell, whenever he and Antonio Brown left, I think a lot of people kind of lumped them together, right? Because obviously they left almost similar timing, and with the Steelers, it was like, okay, Antonio Brown, he leaves, he goes to Oakland, he leaves there, goes to Patriots, and everything kind of happens, and everybody in Pittsburgh's like celebrating, like, yeah, we got a locker room toxic person out of our locker room or whatever, even though he's really good at football, blah, blah, blah. Then I think they kind of lumped Le'Veon with him there. And then as the stories came out, it was like, no, actually the guys like him, but he did, I guess, miss a walkthrough here, and he did this there and all that stuff. So that spin that he would be bad for the culture, I was blindsided by it as well. Earlier this week when everybody was like, we don't want him in the Bills, he'd be bad for a locker room. I'm like, Le'Veon's bad for the, I didn't know that was even a narrative that was happening. And then it started getting repeated a little bit. So I'm happy to hear that you say like, no, like good guy in the locker room. Everything like
it was some stuff that come out just from both of those guys' situation where it was like, number one, they said we were a toxic locker room. And if you look at the locker room now, Pat, you've been around, you've heard stuff. When people are bad, you know it. Like the last thing that could have been said about our locker room was the fact that it was toxic. So I guess it just kind of got grouped in together. But if you're looking for a guy that's going to be able to help you win, Le'Veon is that guy. And even on the other side, I had a bet with somebody in a group chat of mine, because why? Everybody's in group chats these days.
Bingo.
And I wouldn't doubt it that if at some point, man, if AB clears everything, I guess with the law, that he would get another opportunity. You want to talk about a guy that's dynamic, and with the right people around him and him in his right mindset right now, I think AB can and should get an opportunity in this league, man. He's not as bad as everybody painted him to be. It's just that situations may have just not worked out anymore. And hey, you thought what was there for you, and you get an opportunity now to see the reality of it. But if you take the chance on that guy, I wouldn't be shocked if he produced just as well as he did before.
Watch him end up at the Chiefs.
No.
You see what is it far-fetched?
I mean, you would think that Tampa would go for him because Tom loves him, right? Tom very clearly loved him. I mean, he was in for one game. He got 7 targets, I think 6 receptions and a touchdown or whatever in one drive, and he was out. I mean, it was very obvious. And everybody that knows the game of football knows that Antonio Brown is the guy out of wide receiver too. He's so quick. He's explosive. He has great hands. He was a 6th-round pick or whatever, so he has a great work ethic. There's just so much of that stuff. It's just like off the field, can you handle potential flare-ups that could happen, I guess. You got to have a really good culture. You got to have a winning culture. And all the teams that have winning culture are teams that you would say the rich have gotten richer from. So it'll be very interesting to see who ends up there. He has, 3 more games? Week 6, Week 7, Week 8 he has to sit out.
See what I'm saying?
Then he can come back in 3 weeks. So it's like the time almost for business negotiations and conversations for Antonio Brown to end up somewhere is creeping up on us. I'll be excited to hear where it is. What's up, Tony?
Ramon, I assume you had to go up against Cam Hayward and Stephon Tuitt the most in practice, but with those two, and then Bud Dupree and TJ Watt, who of the 4 is the most difficult to block?
Who's the most difficult? You know what? I'm gonna put it. TJ is who TJ is. Period. TJ, I guess, is in a race against his brother to be great. Cam is a headache. Like it was like I got good because of him. He got good because of me because we battled a lot between Cam and Bud, which I think Bud, and I hope he breaks the bank next year because him being a pro has taken off. Like guys early in the league, they got to figure out, okay, what works for me? How do I practice? How do I do camp? Bud has figured that out. But a guy that I know that's chasing like Hall of Fame status to be the best to help the team win is like Cam Hayward. Like TJ and Bud is getting all the love, but that interior is a train wreck with Cam. It's absolutely no plays off. You have a D tackle that's playing about 90% of the snaps. Like that doesn't usually happen, man. And he is a wrecking ball. He draws to. If there's anybody that I'm jumping out there with is Cam.
Hey, Big Ragu, quick question for you. Have you talked to Big Ben about his porn addiction?
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. Sorry. It was a YouTube question. It was a question on YouTube.
And that is unbelievable.
I'm sorry.
Unbelievable, man. But you know what I'll say? That's my quarterback. And the fact that you got that laptop in your lap right now, there's no telling what you look like.
Oh, you salami beating son of a... Oh, no!
Does Big Ben have any references that I should look up?
Promo code?
The big Ragu. We can't thank you enough for spending time with us today, man. Good luck with that morning show. We hope to listen to it someday and hope to meet you in person one day.
No doubt, man. I appreciate it, man, of course. And I enjoy the show. I subscribed on YouTube and all that. You got
it. Hey, by the way, you could potentially win... one of the prizes of $100,000, which will come out early next week. We appreciate you. And I see over your shoulder there, you have a Paul Amalu jersey, I believe, on the wall.
Yeah, I heard the story, man.
Yeah, take it down. Take it down right now. Take it down. Now. He's so good at the football, dude. He was so good at the football. Unbelievable football. Have you ever seen anybody play like him?
No, you know what? What's even more impressive, I'm not sure where our break is, but listen.
You're good.
To see him in practice during the week, okay, just walking around like a pedestrian, don't even like hoodie on, ponytail not up, like you don't even know who he is in the building. You do, but it's like, oh, there go Troy. And then you see him on game day. He comes out of that doggone tunnel, and I don't know if you can see the intro, but he turns around, the hair flowing, and he just runs out. He is a maniac. Only guy I've ever seen, and I think it was against the Tennessee Titans, to be in the box, Pat, the same way that you said he was in the box against you, be on the line of scrimmage and run to the flats on the other side and break up a pass. I was like, yeah, this guy is bad. He was on the opposite side of the field, man, and broke up a pass. But during the week, he's a civilian. You wouldn't even recognize Troy during the week, man. Amazing person, number one, but also the player, of course, because now he's a Hall of Famer.
Ike Taylor told us that there is a chance that, you know how like coaches have those speakers in the helmets that like tell plays? Ike told us that he potentially does have Jesus Christ in his speaker, that is why he made the plays he plays.
I promise you, it was some degenerates on that team, okay, on that defense. And Troy was the balance of them all. Like, by far, you meet him, how you doing? How are you? You good? Like, that's him. Amazing guy, man. But on the field, he is a God. I don't even know.
Problem.
Yes.
That's what 100%. He is. He's an asshole, too. I mean, people don't talk about that enough. A guy, good guy, all that, great player. Ladies and gentlemen, just like this guy, the big Ragu, Ramon Foster. Ragu, we appreciate you, man. Have a good one, boss.
No problem. You too.
Stay off those pedal bars down there. COVID's getting everywhere. Yeah. Be
careful.
Let's get to some phone calls. That was a good conversation there. 11 years offensive lineman. That's a long time.
In the trenches.
By the way, not to get voted the Pro Bowl, that means like team loved him. Didn't get a lot of respect nationally. That's what that means.
Yeah,
11 years in offensive line. That means you
Undrafted.
are a Pro Bowl caliber player, but not a lot of respect everywhere else. What's up, dude?
For a long time, like the middle three did not change. It was him, Pouncey, and DeCastro, and like that was the anchor of that team for a long time, and that helped Le'Veon.
He talked about Le'Veon Bell's rush yards. He said, don't look for him just to be a running back. Look for him to be a slot wide receiver potentially for them and just a hybrid athlete for them because that's what he can do. And I assume Andy Reid will do that. But that does affect the poll that we put out today. Viva Lazito. The poll is, will Le'Veon Bell rush for 100 yards in a game this season? Over 16,000 votes thus far on your big-ass poll. 48.6% say yep. 51.4% say nope. Very interesting. Could be tough for him to rush for 100 yards, by the way, if he's playing slot receiver, but hey, might be able to figure it out.
And with Clyde, too. How are they going to use him? Are they going to put them both in the backfield at the same time, and then you can just sprint out with both of them?
I would assume there's a chance that it'll be Patrick Mahomes, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Le'Veon Bell, and then maybe in the pistol behind him, it'll be Tyreek Hill.
Oh, jeez.
Like in the backfield there. And then obviously Travis Kelce will be spread out somewhere. Sammy Watkins and McCole Hardman will be out there. And it'll just be like the defense coordinator on the other side, just like, well, why can't I get COVID? You know what I mean? Like that is a nightmare to think about. But Andy Reid will do that. He does have play designs that you don't normally see because he has so many weapons. It's going to be awesome to watch what they do.
So the one knock from week one when Clyde Edwards-Helaire had his great game was he got stuffed on the goal line a few times. I could tell you Le'Veon is very, very, very good on the goal line.
And it's because he is very patient. That's just like Tom Brady. People talk about Tom Brady, how he scores those touchdowns. He's the greatest quarterback sneaker of all time. And Tom Brady finds where it's at. Like a lot of people just dive right over the center, right? And that's kind of the classic thing. Tom Brady is good at scouting where he can pick up a yard and a half if he has to, or 2 yards if he has to. Andrew Luck also was very good at it. There's people that can really do it. Le'Veon Bell is a guy down there who can figure out how to stay out of the trash while figuring out where to go. And that's why he's so talented. We just got to hope that he still has it. We got to hope that he still has it if you're a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not really hoping Lev Bell still has it anymore.
Well, as an NFL fan, I'm hoping he is because he is electrifying.
Very fun to watch.
And if you're from Michigan State, you got to be like, okay, maybe something good comes out of our college.
It would be nice to add a Super Bowl for Michigan State because we have nothing going right now.
You guys lost your doctors, right?
Yeah, all of them.
No.
Rightfully so.
Those
Get
doctors,
them out of here.
Those doctors weren't actually.
They weren't doctors.
They were bad people.
Yeah, very bad people.
You do have an NBA champion though, Draymond Green.
Yeah, that's right.
cool.
That's pretty good. He's
Kirk
not playing
Cousins
anymore, right?
is a
He's on
starter in
TV
the
now.
league.
Kirk Cousins is great.
Nick Foles was at Michigan State at one point.
He
Hoyer
left,
was
got out of
starting
there.
at one point.
Yeah, Hoyer. Thanks
Hoyer.
a lot, pal.
Yeah.
Got sacked in his 15th year.
Fucking
Ripped for
ass
halftime with no timeouts in scoring zone
Dumbass.
position. That's wild.
You guys have ICP.
Let's go to Rich. ICPs from Michigan State.
From Michigan, yeah.
Detroit.
Oh my God, I thought they were in Michigan State. I was.
Not that I know of.
Bro, if the Juggalos came,
I don't know if they went
Wouldn't
to school.
surprise me.
I
one
would
bit.
change everything I thought about Michigan State if the Juggalos came from Michigan State. I would be so excited for that. Let's go to Richard in Colorado Springs. What's going on, Richard? Oh, Jesus.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Not too shabby, man. Did not know that accent came from Colorado Springs. What do you want to talk about, brother?
I mean, we got the backwoods down here. What are you talking about?
I did not know you guys had the backwoods down there, to be 100% honest. I did not know that. I'm learning something here today. Just like I didn't know, are there American lions where you're at right now? Because them,
Be careful.
them
Power
lions are,
lines, baby.
all right. What do you want to talk about, brother?
Listen, my question to y'all is,
I'll never
what
go
is
this
the most electric bet story y'all have? And Pat, we all know the number 18 Peyton Manning roulette story, the Broncos quarterback, not Colts quarterback, Super Bowl 50 champion story. So I'm just curious on what your best
watch your
bet
mouth now.
stories are.
Last night I found myself watching a sophomore in high school play
me
football
too.
in Arch Manning. He was like
stud.
number one
He's
trend
good.
overall or
Not
whatever.
bad.
He is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And he seems to have more athleticism than his uncles are Peyton and Eli too. He looks like he's been going to the Manning Passing Academy since he's 5 years old.
Since he could walk.
Has there ever been a human that is ready and gonna go? I mean,
No.
He was everything that they hyped him up to be. By the way, put him on ESPN two. That's the entire world saying, okay, is this kid got it or not? ESPN two. He won like fucking 6 for 6 for 400 yards his first 6 passes or something. It was just unbelievable watching him.
He's dual threat as
He
well.
is.
You mentioned it. He had like 100 rush yards, 2 touchdowns.
There was a lot of people that wanted to see Arch Manning have a miserable night on ESPN2 last night. A lot of people. They're like,
Really?
Yeah, I would assume that Patriots fans. I would assume that
no.
I would assume there's a lot of people that hate Peyton or Eli or something like that, or even just are upset that the fact that kid gets on ESPN2 because of who he is, and instead, complete opposite, he just fucking balled out.
He's already 6'3", too.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's the next Trevor Lawrence, probably.
Yeah,
right?
I was just going to say, that's the next quarterback of the Patriots. That's who I want to take for is Arch Manning. I mean, I don't want to look too far ahead, but in 3 years from now, feel free to go 0-16.
Think about the royalty there. Grandpa, obviously.
Yeah.
Archie Manning, named after namesake. Your two uncles, Super Bowl champs. One of them is known as the greatest quarterback of all time, and they have a passing academy that teaches basically everybody the proper fundamentals and technique, which is what they're like known for the entire. That kid had a lot of pressure on him last night on ESPN. I think he's a sophomore, right?
Yes. Yes.
They had a lot of pressure on him in high school his sophomore year, and he just fucking balled, dude. It was awesome to watch. Terrible environment, though. I don't think there was any fans there. I could only watch for a little bit. It was tough to watch. It was tough. It was very tough.
Cooper was in the stands for I saw they showed
Cooper. Cupper. Let's go to Tristan in Pittsburgh. Cupper, good, funny guy, by the way. In real life and on television. The Manning Hour minus 15 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
What's a great player before he fell into a little bit of an injury there. Tristan, what's going on?
Hey, not much. It's my first week here at my new job, so it's a pretty good feel-good Friday for me. How you and the boys?
Congratulations.
Good job, Donald.
Now, obviously, we hope the job doesn't stink and you just signed up for something that's terrible long-term. But if you're happy to be there and it's a great gig, we are very pumped for you, Tristan. We hope you raise and rise through the ranks of that company quicker than any person in that company's history. Hope you become the president or the boss in no time, sir. Thanks for calling. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I want to talk a little bit about baseball real fast because...
Can't do it. All right.
Good job.
It's hour 2 is coming to it. You can't do it, bro. Just can't fucking do it.
No. It's feel good Friday.
Yeah. I mean, World Series, maybe we'll do it, but I just can't do it right now.
Can't do it.
I mean, I watched last night. I watched there was some baseball or whatever, and they were pumping in the noise very loud. I mean, that was one of the most electric championship series crowds I've ever heard for every single pitch. I like it, but I mean, I just can't do it. I'm not the person that people are coming to have baseball talk.
No.
You know what, Pat McAfee, I want to hear what you have to say about baseball. Nobody thinks that. Nobody in there. So I'm doing you a favor by asking me a question because I'm going to give you a response. I didn't even know that 12-0 in one inning could happen. It happened the other night. I didn't even know that. I am a professional baseball player. I do have one night in the Frontier League where I did get paid to play baseball, right field, on base percentage, 333, no spoilers. You can watch the entire documentary. I was mic'd up, but I couldn't tell you the last time I watched a fucking baseball game. Couldn't even tell you. Not the guy to do it. Mad Dog Russo, by the way, the guy coming on after us here, the namesake of this Sirius channel. Incredible baseball mind. You should definitely listen to him. But I want to know my role and shut your mouth about baseball because I don't know anything about it. Hour 2 wrapping up here. I just want to let you know there's 3 myths in the world of nutrition.
Really?
Number 1, all protein powders and shakes are created equally. Number 2, protein is only for fitness buffs. And number 3, a protein shake can't be a complete healthy meal. TrueFit by RSP Nutrition dispels all of these myths. TrueFit is so much more than any other protein. TrueFit is not only packed with ultra premium grass-fed pasture-raised protein, but it also has fruits and veggies, healthy fats from real food sources, and prebiotic fiber and probiotics to help with gut and digestive health.
Grass-fed beef. I
You know
that.
TrueFit has everything your body needs and nothing you don't. TrueFit comes in a powder or a ready-to-drink shake. The ready-to-drink shake tastes very good, by the way. Give it a little bit of a shake and it's good. Enjoy either as a healthy breakfast shake, drink as your post-workout recovery, or even a midday filling snack. I've been doing that. It's also gluten-free, non-GMO, and contains no artificial ingredients, so you can feel as amazing as it tastes. Go to rspnutrition.com and use code McAfee at checkout for 20% off. rspnutrition.com. Use code McAfee at checkout for 20% off. Very good protein, very good shakes. We have them in the office. We're very thankful. I don't use it as a meal replacement. I use it as a meal alongside. That's why I'm still getting fat. Hour 2 is wrapping up. On the other side, we just got more callers probably. Feel Good Friday, October 16th, the Pat McAfee Show.
Lakers, welcome to the Blender, the home of a team and a fan base face on a playoff push the likes the world has never seen before. Crescent City, get on your feet for tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by Sprite, an incredibly refreshing drink. Starting at forward was the number 2 overall pick in the 2016 NBA draft. Now he's an NBA All-Star, Brandon Ingram. At forward, this man has been dunking on little white kids on the internet for 10 years. The incomparable, unstoppable, 6'6" phenom, Zion Williamson. At center, standing at 8 feet tall, from Georgia Tech, number 22, Derek Favors. This man's family had a reality show in Lithuania. He was born and raised in LA, but he found his J in Vienna. Lonzo Ball. And the OG of the roster. On the court, he's a monster. Braids hanging, shots banging. It's not Drew, it's Drew Holiday. Let's get this done. Thank you very much. Go Pelicans. Tired of me right now. That's how you play basketball. Will be a 5-bowler from the Red Panda. Up we go. Yes! 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 Red Panda! What a legendary moment. You're a legend. It's an honor. Right, so mission accomplished, right? Come down, intro some players, throw some bowls to Red Panda, fly back to Indianapolis. Success story, Foxy. What a fucking night.
Is Big Brother back on right now?
Yeah, and I believe it's an all-star cast.
Really?
Yeah.
Season 18, I believe.
Really?
We're way past season 18.
Oh, I don't know. I put it on the other day because you guys were speaking so highly of it. It is definitely a cool show. It's just Survivor, but it doesn't suck.
You don't like Survivor?
No. I mean, like their living conditions don't
This
suck.
is
Excuse me.
season 22.
All right.
Good year
It's
for
an all-star one.
cast.
Yeah.
Any big names?
Julie Chan.
No.
They got her.
What?
I know they've been trying to get her for a couple seasons now.
Pretty sure she's hosted every single season. I believe I stopped watching after BB11.
You know, that's right. She is the host.
She is, yeah.
Trying to get her forever.
Yeah, for 22 seasons now.
Shut up.
Next.
Wow.
Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. Hour 3 on this Feel Good Friday, October 16th, begins immediately upon this twine beat drop. Not a bad Friday so far. Got a chance to chat with Ramon Foster there for a little bit, talking about Le'Veon Bell as a teammate. He just signed with the Kansas City Chiefs last night. The rich get richer. No clue how the Kansas City Chiefs have been able to negotiate all of these deals, remain under the salary cap, especially with the future being in such question financially. The Kansas City Chiefs work a 1-year deal for Le'Veon Bell to add in a backfield that is already explosive, add to an offense that is maybe the most electric offense in the history of the NFL, and somehow, some way, Andy Reid will be able to figure out a way to keep him happy, keep the ball in his hands, and probably negotiate a 10-year deal after this year is a success story for the reigning, defending, undisputed Super Bowl champions of the NFL, the Kansas City Chiefs. Also this morning, big news coming out of the medical world. The Patriots have another positive COVID case, working on a potential another one that has to come back for verification or confirmation. So one more positive in the New England Patriots locker room. Potential another person positive coming out of the New England Patriots locker room. They play the Broncos this Sunday, allegedly. There is no current delay or postponement on that game. But if it does happen, it'll be interesting to see how the NFL will shell game these games. They've already moved like 16 games, it feels like at this point. They've been able to move bye weeks. They've been able to move teams. But now with the Patriots and Broncos being past their bye weeks, what will they do if they have to postpone this game? Because for some reason, the New England Patriots with Bill Belichick cannot keep COVID out of the locker room at Boston. Connor, what do you have to say for yourself?
If I know one thing in my entire life watching the Patriots, it's been the Patriots versus the NFL. So I don't know what the NFL is doing. I don't know what the laboratories are doing. Whatever the hell they're brewing up there at the headquarters in the NFL, it's against the Patriots. It's bullshit. And don't forget, sell that goddamn Detroit Lions team.
No, we're not going back to that. You will not pivot off of this because if anybody should be thinking about selling a team right now, it's one of the teams that can't help themselves but potentially postpone an entire NFL season, because it takes all of us, and that particular message is not being received in Foxborough, and it's becoming quite a problem. This morning, I woke up to the potential thought that the Indianapolis Colts maybe followed down the Patriots' footsteps of trying to derail an entire 2020 NFL season. Turns out the 4 positives that they found out about this morning were all false positives. Welcome back, Indianapolis Colts. Did not break any protocols, don't have COVID in the building. That's because the Indianapolis Colts, although they have a quarterback that seems to be throwing the ball to the other team on a rapid basis, is doing everything right. Tennessee Titans are back after a 2-week hiatus. They stomped the Buffalo Bills. They seem to have it under control. Every other team that we've heard that potentially had an outbreak has gotten it under control. Yeah. There's only been one team now that has had 2 separate occasions that have had positive test results for COVID, and it's the New England Patriots.
I mean, good for the Colts, doing everything right, but what was it? Oh, breaking news. Patriots aren't even going to vote this year.
Whoa, Tony, don't say that, dude. Don't say that.
Have you heard Bill Belichick say vote once yet?
Have I?
Yeah.
He ends every single team meeting with "Don't forget to vote." Now we don't do it in front of every single camera like most teams, except for Dak Prescott. But still, he's telling his whole entire team, "Go vote."
The Pittsburgh Steelers put out an entire PSA this morning, and this is how it ended. Do we have that video? We do not have that video. It is Duck Hodges reminding people to register to vote. And if Duck Hodges didn't say that, by the way, I'm not sure one person in Pittsburgh would have voted, but I do know that he did say that. Bill Belichick has not come out and said that. Jeez, we just heard it there. Please play it again.
Register to vote.
There's Duck Hodges. Do we have the... Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow. What is that?
What the hell was that?
What is that?
What was that? The people are going to grab that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what that particular message was. That's awesome.
Uh-oh.
What was that?
Ooh. This is going to be good.
Hey, the Patriots, by the way.
Oh, geez, stop it already. This is a nightmare. Please stop it. What's going on?
I mean, look, Cam Newton got COVID, and we were able to contain that. I don't know if there's a better team out there, really, that is able to contain COVID the way the Patriots can.
And by the way, that has made sense all the way up until today, where you have more COVID cases that aren't associated with Stephon Gilmore and Cam Newton already.
Yeah, but
Cam Newton
can't contain anything.
Yeah, it can't contain anything, actually. You're the complete opposite of being able to contain COVID. You've actually had another outbreak already.
No, the Titans couldn't contain it. They had a massive outbreak. We had the 2. Okay, then we shut it down, and we had 4 days of good tests this week. And then today, there's a bunch of false positives in Indianapolis, and again now in New England. I mean, let's just check the laboratories,
no,
okay?
It's not false in New England.
Let's go to Colin in Michigan to hear his thoughts. What's going on, Colin?
What's up, Pat? How you doing?
I'm okay. Like, you just can't make things up.
I'm just saying,
that is not something you can do.
One of them is probably false positive.
Nope. By the way,
can't do that.
We don't know that if that's the case or
That's
not.
why I said probably.
Yeah, but there is one definite positive coming out of the Patriots.
Yeah,
4 days later.
I know, but let's just sweep that under the rug right now. Let's focus on the positive.
Colin in Michigan, what do you want to talk about?
False positive.
Well, Pat, first I want to give a shout out.
There's no positive coming out of New England right now with the way you guys have been handling this entire thing.
Except for testing.
It's unbelievable.
Our tests are positive. And, although that could be negative, our negatives are positives too.
What do you want to talk about, Colin?
So shout out to Foxy first. I went to high school with him, so great job, Foxy.
Are you in the
I know
bathroom?
what this is.
Don't ask that question. That's a very inside joke. It's stupid for a national show. But I would like to know, does Evan Fox, whenever he was playing basketball in high school, were you there with him? Did he make jumpers, or was he just the guy that was like maybe 7th, 8th man off the bench?
No, Foxy made jumpers. He was.
A lot has changed.
Thank you.
What would you like to talk about, brother? You didn't deserve it.
So my question for you guys, and Foxy as well, being from Michigan. So right after Dak went down, there were rumors of Stafford being traded. I don't think that's happening anymore, but what did you guys think of those rumors of Stafford being traded, and how long do you think Patricia's going to last in Detroit?
Do you think there was a chance at all that Stafford was potentially traded this past offseason? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Everybody's talking about Matt Patricia probably getting sent out of town. He gets brought back, right? They sell the team to the daughter, right? The daughter of the Ford family owns it. Are they going to keep Matt Patricia around for another year after how it's going? Probably not. They're probably going to bring in a new GM, new coach. It's probably going to be a new thing. Matt Stafford, who has had a hell of a run with the Detroit Lions, is one of the only quarterbacks in the history of the NFL to be on a notoriously terrible team and not be directly associated with why they are terrible. Everybody understands that the Detroit Lions organization is probably cursed. Everybody knows that the organization is probably a losing franchise.
Yeah.
But you don't hear a lot of people say, you know what, Matthew Stafford is a losing quarterback. The reason why is because Matthew Stafford, whenever he gets a chance to play on national television, always shows out, balls out, and ultimately the Detroit Lions lose games that they're not supposed to lose. And for 11 years now, how long has he been there? 11 years?
I think it's 11. He was drafted the same class as you.
And I retired, so I don't keep track of those. He was number 1 overall. He got like $75 million guaranteed. Could have bought Detroit the day he was drafted, by the way.
He deserves it.
Then he got another one of those deals. Yep. And I think for 11 years, he doesn't talk much, rarely does media. I think I have asked him to come on this show in person. He said, yeah, we'll do that. And then gave me the old, see you later. Not going to do it. Not his big thing. But I think Detroit loves him. The NFL fans love him and respect his work. And if you get a new GM, new head coach, they're probably going to try to start from the bottom, right? Try to rebuild that thing, especially with the daughter's ownership now. It's a whole new family. So you would assume that Matthew Stafford is probably on his way out of Detroit.
Yes.
And I would assume in a lot of the states and cities that he ends up in, they will gladly and be excited to have him in their building. Phillip Rivers, when it was announced he was coming to the Indianapolis Colts, there was a lot of people initially that hated the move. They didn't like Phillip Rivers for however he acted, maybe because he got a bit chirpy, which he still is on the games. And back in the day, Phillip Rivers and the Colts had a little bit of a rivalry. And then quickly, after hearing Phillip Rivers speak and watching him play, Indianapolis Colts rallied behind Phillip Rivers. And they hated Phillip Rivers. I think a lot of them hated. And then now he's starting to throw picks. They're turning against him again.
Yeah.
But I don't even think you'll have to do that if Matthew Stafford shows up in a city. I think this team will immediately be like, we got a guy who's probably going to be able to play for the next 4 or 5 years if he wants at a very high level. He's a guy who still has a chip on his shoulder. He's a guy that has accepted the challenge of being on a bad team and never really bitched about it, which a lot of people would. I think there's a lot of cities that if Matthew Stafford came there would absolutely love him. Look for maybe, Why not here?
Yeah.
Here's a place.
Seriously.
Here's a place. Who knows what's going to happen with Phillip Rivers or Jacoby Brissett? I mean, we don't know how the rest of the season's going to go. Maybe Phillip Rivers stops throwing it to the other team, and inopportune times in this team that is incredibly well built will go on and win it all. And maybe Phil Rivers rides off into the high school coaching job he already has in Alabama and sails off into the sunset. Maybe Jacoby Brissett gets in. Maybe he doesn't do whatever Chris Ballard wants him to do to prove that he's a starting quarterback. Maybe with the incredible team that the Colts have built around the quarterback position, maybe Matthew Stafford just gets plugged in and he's the guy going forward for the next few years. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers wants Ben Roethlisberger. Maybe Ben Roethlisberger wins this year, rides off into the sunset. Maybe that happens. Who knows what teams are going to be looking for a quarterback because there's a lot of season left. But wherever it is, let's assume Matthew Stafford will have a new home next year.
Yeah, I just want it to be a winning franchise. You literally summed up everything of Matthew Stafford's career perfectly. That's why I don't want him to go to Dallas because the Cowboys kind of stink.
Whoa.
They do. So I want them to go somewhere and win. That's all I want.
Well, if they don't sign Andy Dalton to a massive deal,
Which
we don't know.
we can't rule out.
Dak Prescott's going to get a massive deal from there, right? Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones have come out and said that that's basically what's going to happen. Now, NFL is a disgusting business behind the scenes. That could all change vastly because 1 month from now, will we still be talking about how gruesome that injury was to Dak Prescott and how everything else is if Andy Dalton and the Cowboys are winning games? Who knows? We're going to be in a very different time around February, March, whenever that conversation is going to happen with Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, and Dak Prescott. But maybe they're looking for a new quarterback, and maybe the Texas kid, Matthew Stafford, gets to come back home. He didn't get to play college there, right? Played in Georgia.
Yeah.
He goes to Detroit, he's been there. Maybe he gets come back home in Texas, sling the rock around to all the weapons that they have. And Mike McCarthy loves throwing it, 60, 70 times a game. That's what Matthew Stafford does. Maybe that's the case, but I feel like Dak is going to get that gig for the long term.
Also, McCarthy, he's seen him in division many, many times. He knows what Stafford can do.
How'd you guys do against the Lions?
Beat the piss out of
Yeah,
him.
I actually did see
it wasn't Stafford's fault. We know it wasn't Stafford's fault.
Stafford has thrown more touchdowns against the Packers than any other team in his career.
Well, that was just that one game. And Matt Prater has also thrown more touchdowns against the Green Bay Packers than any other team in history.
Wow.
And also, whenever I'm calling the game up there, what was that, 30-something or whatever?
Yeah.
Greatest game in Lions history. I'll stand by it.
Place was packed all the way to the end. The Packers were nowhere near in that game ever that entire time.
Do you think going into this year, Stafford legitimately thought that the Lions may win the division? Because I feel like there was a little bit of hype, and maybe it's just because Foxy was pretty confident with the team. But do you think at any point he just kind of feels hoodwinked, and it's like, hey, you guys were saying we were going to be really good, and what do you know, we stink again?
I would assume that just like Joe Thomas told us, where Joe Thomas played maybe the greatest career of football on the field with zero success as an actual win-loss thing. He told us in an interview, and I don't know if he's rethought this answer or not, or he said there was every year he thought they had a chance. Okay. And that's what you have to do in the NFL, by the way. Yeah. Every year when you're going through training camp and it's miserable and you're going through this and this and this, if you're at that high level where you're making a lot of money, you have to think and believe that your team has a chance. Because if not, you're probably going to get injured. You're probably not going to be your best and do that whole thing. I would assume, I thought the Lions were potentially going to go on a run. They had 45 games in a row where they've been up 10 points in the fourth quarter and they can't win. It's maybe this team will be able to figure out how to close games. Turns out, by the way, they cannot. They cannot still. No. But I would assume Matthew Stafford every single year thought they were going to go out and get it.
I mean, I guess you have to.
You have to. You literally have to. If you're in that building, you hear the conversation let the outside noise stay outside. We in here, we got to believe. We can't listen to anybody out there. We got to believe in here. I would assume Matthew Stafford had that on plenty of occasion. What's going on, Nick?
How do you not learn from past greats' mistakes? You're Matthew Stafford. You look at a situation like Joe Thomas. You look at what he went through, and you just think, maybe the grass is greener. Maybe I give it a shot somewhere else. Maybe it's time.
The thing is, he's a good guy.
Good guy.
Loyalty, Pat. Detroit loves loyalty.
If Matthew Stafford comes out and goes, this place stinks, get me out of here, everybody be like, all right, hey, let it go, Matthew. Hey, you're 100% right.
He's right.
It's about time you said that. Actually, there was a guy on the show a couple days ago saying that all of Detroit should get rid of their NFL teams. Not just you leaving town. Everybody would be they'd be understanding. But I think Matthew Stafford has it inside of him that he doesn't want to be that guy. Hey, I don't want to be known as the guy that has come out in a prima donna fashion and say, I shouldn't be here, blah, 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 blah. But at some point, he's going to have a bad guy, though, come out and say, hey, your entire career is being wasted right now. You could potentially go onto a team immediately that is already built and ready for you to win. Why don't we do that? By the way, that team could also be The Chicago Bears.
Ooh, I like that.
Division.
The Chicago Bears. Now, the Lions would have to trade it within the division, which maybe, hey, it's the Lions.
Maybe. They're
so
stupid.
They will. It's the Lions, but maybe because you have two quarterbacks, which means you have no quarterbacks, and maybe Nick Foles gets very hot here and kind of wins you guys the Super Bowl or whatever.
Whoa.
Well, I'm not saying
Right
that
off
could
the
get
sunset.
a cold take right there with us saying that or whatever.
But if they do win the Super Bowl, you look like a hero.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They won't. This is like Dan Orlovsky saying Josh Allen's the MVP, want to be known as the first person that said it,
Maybe.
and then he backs off mightily.
Maybe Matt Stafford knows, and I can't believe Foxy told me the stat this morning, and I can't believe he didn't bust it out during this entire conversation. Last time Lions made the playoffs, they started 1-3, which they are currently at. So maybe Stafford knows that.
And they didn't lose any preseason games.
Oh, yeah.
Right. The last time you guys didn't lose any preseason games, you went completely defeated, right?
Yes, we did. And we drafted Matthew Stafford.
And this year, you guys already got one win. I mean,
Bingo.
so
Yeah,
pretty good.
Maybe you guys changed
It's
the
never
time.
the offense's problem. It's the defense.
No,
The defense is terrible.
organization.
Just got a text from Duck, our guy Duck Hodges.
Yeah.
What'd he say? Register to vote. Is that what he said?
What was that?
What did you say?
Register to vote.
He said, you guys are ridiculous, basically, is what he said. And then he said, please remember, I am undefeated against Baker Mayfield.
Go!
It's true.
Duck's a savage. All right, 18 minutes into this third hour here. We have to get to a break. Here's a song. What do you guys want to play here? I'm going through Huey Mack's.
What about that one cool one that Nick requested like last week?
You know what we want to hear.
What? Oh, yeah.
You know what we want.
Yeah, Feel Good Friday.
Feel Good Friday, baby.
Let me, here we go. Everybody.
It's on a cool song.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a good
drop
song.
down. Top is down.
Don't Leave Me Lonely here by
The Los Lonely Boys.
Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company, so they are not just some big corporation that overcharges for shades. No, 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 no. Everyone knows sunglasses are way overpriced. Shady Rays is out to do it much differently with premium polarized shades at a fraction of the big name brand cost. Shady Rays has one of the best warranties in all of eyewear, all of anything. Replacements if shades are lost or broken for any reason. It does not matter what happens. You dropped it in an ocean, lake, anything, you sat on it, you broke them, they'll replace them. Try that with your high-priced shades and see if they'll help you.
They won't.
Whenever you wear Shady Rays glasses, you walk around town, you know what people say to you? Cool glasses.
Cool
glasses.
Cool glasses.
Shady Rays also provides 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order placed and have provided over 10 million meals to date.
Wow.
By the way, congrats on all the success on your business that we just learned.
Yeah.
Over 10 million orders have been placed.
That's wow.
Okay.
Great.
Appreciate what you guys have done there. Well, I guess 1 million orders they've had.
Shedding light.
A lot.
So good.
They stand behind their product and told our team that if anyone has a problem, they throw profit out the window and do what it takes to get it right. Free returns and exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will pay to ship them back. That's it. Exclusively for our listeners, they gave us the best deal they have to offer. This is a Black Friday-like deal. Wow. Use code McAfee for 25% off any pair of shades at ShadyRays.com. You can get a quality polarized pair of sunglasses for as low as $36 with this deal. Redeem only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades.
Hell yeah.
Adam Schefter just tweeted out that as it currently stands, this game is on track to be played Sunday between the Broncos and the Patriots. No other contingencies have been discussed at this time per a source. So maybe week 18 has not come to fruition just yet. Broncos Patriots still playing on Sunday as of 2:20 here on Friday. It's a wild time to be alive. On the other side, we will take some phone calls and chit chat about this great life with a man named Chase. This is the Pat McAfee Show here on Sirius XM Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio.
We have a kid named Evan Fox in this office. This kid was once a videographer for weddings. He shoots no less than 200 basketballs a day. Now he's become full-time producer of Pat McAfee Show. The kid, I think, could potentially play in the NBA. He's been on the sideline of the national championship. Kid's been at the Super Bowl. Is one of the most talented dudes
when it comes to interneting. And if Foxy drains an NBA 3 on his first shot, we will add $1,000 into the game. For $1,000 to win $1,000, you make this $1,000 for $2,000 cash for the listeners.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. My hands are sweating right now. I had no clue this was happening. I have no warm-ups. This is the biggest shot I've ever had. So I'm a little sore. I've never had a shot worth $1,000. I've never had a shot with this many eyes on me. But hey, I have no excuses.
That wasn't about knees weak, arms are heavy. Go ahead, Foxy. Kid from Michigan with the beard. Evan Foxy with a fresh fade. Couple dribbles. He gets set. He steps up. He puts it up. Mom spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. Today. Disgusting, despicable, airball for nothing. Short left brick.
That was the worst shot I've ever seen him shoot in the history of this office.
Hey,
without question.
It was an absolute brick. Have you ever seen a kid shoot that terribly? I left it out. Another miss.
One, I'm a roast Foxy. He was the reason Zito crashed the RV at MetLife. Foxy, you might look good, but you're a jinx, cuz you're like
He's dead. He's dead. Rest in peace, Foxy. Evan Fox is currently 0 for 3, currently shooting 0% in these types of shots. You have missed disgustingly. We're sorry, listeners. We're sorry, followers. We're sorry, subscribers. Evan Fox is just trying to ruin it at all stops. We're 0 for 4 in these types of shots. There's zero chance this ball goes in. He's gone 0 for 5. That was $1,000 shot that didn't even hit rim.
I stink.
In front of the millions and millions of people. He held it up too. That's tough. That's embarrassing. The kid who never misses when the camera isn't on. Evan Fox, who's very handsome and very talented, will attempt to shoot for $2,000 cash for the listeners. We will give away 2 great. Oh, he passes it to himself off the brick. He steps up for the wing. He steps up for the wing. I am so happy he hangs on the rim in an attempt to break it. We will give away $2,000 because Evan Fox is now 1 for 7. And nothing but splash for the young, handsome Evan Foxy. Wow, what a day. I am so happy for you.
Doing it for the brand. It's the Pat McAfee Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Just wait, it's coming. Oh! Yeah. I was pretty pumped about it. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here. This song is called The Fall by Just Jelly.
Jelly.
I don't know who they are, but I do know they make an incredibly fantastic beat that takes about 45 to 2 minutes to build. But when it gets there, it comes right on time. Yeah. All the boys are here at Tone Diggs, Boston Connor, Ty Schmidt. All the boys in the back room, obviously. And on his Feel Good Friday, October 16, 2020, joining our guy at Viva Lazito on the couch is a kid that I guess, how old are you? You're a man. You're 18?
19.
19. You're
He's a
grown.
man.
You're a grown-ass man at this point. Grown-ass man at this point.
Come on, Pat.
Hey, joining at Viva
some
Lazito
respect.
on the couch is a Bears fan and a Clemson Tigers fan. Our guy, Chase. What up? What's up, Chase?
Thanks for having me.
You're here. You're from here in Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, you are currently maybe the most kick-ass human on earth. Is that accurate?
Some may say.
Yeah, and for those, it's been covered by the Indy star Dana Bimbo, Benbow. By the way, Bimbo is her name. She's been covering your story here for the last couple of months, and I got a message that basically said, "Hey, there's a guy here in town named Chase. He's a fan of the show, which, by the way, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
A fan of the show. I mean, it's a very dumb show, so the fact that you're a fan of it, and you're going through some stuff, and wondered if you'd come say hello or whatever.
Yeah.
You're supposed to come last week. You caused a 7-car pileup. Right? Is that right? Is that what happened on your way into the office?
Not exactly.
You know, but there was a car crash.
Yeah.
So we rescheduled for this week. And I will tell you, the boys in this office were pumped to meet you today, and we can't thank you enough for stopping by.
Thank you, guys.
So what do you have going on? And can you make it, dumb it down for us, because we are very stupid, Yeah.
It's a long story, but I'll try and keep it.
Hey, do your thing. Do your thing. Do what you gotta do.
So when I was 13, I was having immense amount of pain in my left femur, waking up in the middle of the night screaming. And we originally thought it was just a torn muscle. I was very active as a kid, and at 13, I was ranked second in the nation in swimming.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Jeez. I'm a bad swimmer. I
was projected to make the Olympic team in the future.
Wow! Let's go.
And so, like, we were taking my body pretty seriously, and so we went to a specialist, and immediately he did a scan and sent us straight to Riley.
Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis, okay, which is a very, very impressive children's hospital.
Yeah.
Got a chance to watch them work on a couple occasions. It's an amazing place. Immediately after scan, you're sent to Riley?
Sent to Riley, and sent to a different specialist. He did a scan and said there's some sort of tumor, large tumor in your femur area. We don't know if it's benign. We don't know if cancerous. We'll have to do surgery to find out. So they did the minor surgery, found out it was a rare bone cancer called Ewing sarcoma.
Okay.
It's a childhood cancer, very rare, but very, very aggressive. There's not a lot of research for it, but they're making progress as of now.
Let's keep that going, by the way. Let's keep that progress going for sure.
So we come up with a plan, do the whole chemo, radiation, surgery, the whole nine, for about a year. Got rid of it all.
All right, here we go. Let's
go. I was in radiation, or in remission for about a year-ish, year and a half-ish. And then it returned in the same area. Which every time it returns, your odds, I guess. I don't really live by the odds anymore.
Yeah, bingo. Like that a lot.
But the odds tell you it goes down every time it comes back. So we tried some new medicines, tried some new surgeries, got in remission again. Then about a year later, so I worked for a year off, and then it came back in my lung this time instead of the leg. And so it was a little different as far as approach. We weren't wanting to just waste my body and waste my energy that I had built up on just another chemo drug that's not going to work. Because every time you put chemo in your body, it's tearing it down.
Got it.
And it gives you less of a chance if that doesn't work for another drug to work.
Got it.
So at this point, we're very selective of what we do in order to make my life the best it can be and as long as it can be. So they decided it was small enough in my lung that just doing a little surgery to remove that little nodule and no other treatment would be the best thing.
Got it.
So they did. So a little slice of my lung was removed, and
what year is this?
This is about 2 years ago.
Okay, so you had it on your leg twice, then it came into your lung.
Yeah.
No chemo will do the surgery.
Yeah.
When they do the surgery on the lung, does that clear it out of your body for
Exactly.
So you go into remission again. So
Yes.
so this is 3 times you've had to battle against Ewing
sarcoma.
Yeah. And then after that,
just living.
That's
just
what I'm
living.
living. Any swimming? Are you swimming again or no?
Swimming. Obviously not at the level I wish I had.
Well, you didn't swim to jail, allegedly. Which is good news. I mean, that was
but helping my team go to state every year.
Okay.
As a small rural school, that's a huge deal. In a no class sport, so we're facing schools that are 6 times our size, and still going to the state championship. So I was still competing at the state level, but then the next time, the most recent diagnosis was early 2020. So I made it all the way to early 2020, and I come in and they say you have it in multiple areas. So it's my lung, my brain, esophagus, arm, a couple other places. But there, some of them are small, some of them are larger. And they basically said, I've missed a cut. There has been one more diagnosis before, in between the lung and this one.
Okay.
That was sort of bigger, but I'll just skip that.
But early 2020.
Early
now.
2020 now. Is the closest diagnosis, and they, at the time, my parents are thinking like, okay, it's serious time now. Like, we got to ask the question, how much time does he have left?
Yeah.
And doctors hate giving those answers. They hate it. They can't predict effectively, really ever.
Yeah.
But she respected my family enough to give her best judgment. And she said, I would say with everything he's gone through, 3 to 5 months. And so that was, the 5-month mark was about a month ago.
Here we go. Here we go, Chase.
Chase.
Let's go.
And what I've told everybody, which is motivating for me, is the day the 5-month mark happened, I was thinking like, everybody's expecting me to be withering away and my body being deteriorating and getting weaker and everything. But I felt better that day, and since that day, I felt better than any day in probably years.
Okay.
So,
you think that is your mental mindset? Like, this is what they told me, and I'm on the other side of it? Because whenever I didn't know exactly what to expect whenever you came in here, to be honest. We all had our masks on. We take 2 people in the office take COVID tests each week, and we assume that since we're around each other so much, if 2 people are negative, we're all good. And with you, didn't know what to do, so we all had our masks on. You walk in, backwards hat, handsome man strapping, and you look at me and I go, do I have to have this on? You're like, take the mask off. I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. You said it. And it was awesome getting a chat with you right before you came on there and hearing your story, man. Just an absolute badass of a human. And obviously, you're going to keep going here. Like,
yeah. Oh, we ain't done.
Yeah, nowhere. Hey, Chase, we're nowhere near done.
We're nowhere near done.
Hammer that. We're nowhere done.
Yeah,
but we appreciate you coming in, brother. What is the mindset, though, every day? Is there like, because there's that song, right? Who's it by? Kenny Chesney?
Tim McGraw.
The whole, I won 8 points or 6.7 seconds on a bull named Fu Manchu, that whole thing. Whenever you're told okay, like you only have this amount of time. Does your mindset completely change as like, okay, every single day I'm going to try to make it awesome? Like, is that because that's a thought? Because you're in a position right now, by the way,
Right.
that not a lot of humans will ever be in.
Yeah.
And you're in an incredibly inspirational situation right now. What is the mindset every day? Did you change your mindset whenever they told you that? Or is have you been like that for a long time because you've had to do this 4 or 5 times in the past?
I'd say it just magnified it. I had that mindset anyways, but it was just a kick in the butt and reminder, I guess, to.
Did you ever think about not being a Bears fan though? Like,
Seriously,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be a Bears.
He goes from
I know
emotions.
He does it all the time.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
Good question, though.
if we're trying to make
Valid.
you know what I mean? It's like, hey, let's go ahead and take advantage of every single day here. Let's kick ass. Let's maybe be a fan of a team that's going to do it. You know what I mean?
I mean,
It's our year.
No, it's not your year. No.
Ask Chase.
Hey, Chase, this is not your year. Oh, you like the Bears this year? You like the Bears?
solid.
They look
4-1.
They're looking pretty solid.
Who's Nick Foles, Mitchell Trubisky? If you were the coach, if you were Matt Nagy, which by the way,
I was pretty pissed off when they started Mitch first game.
Oh, you wanted Nick Foles in there
right away.
Yeah. Oh, how about that? Because Zito wasn't that way. Zito's a stooge. He'll do whatever they tell him to do.
I just follow coach. I follow coach, whatever he does.
Hey, but you wanted Nick Foles in there, so now you got to be happy that he's in there. Who the Bears got this weekend?
Panthers, yeah.
Oh, no.
Teddy.
We're underdogs, too. Love it.
+1.5.
Probably should be.
Probably go win on us. Hey, why not go win a Super Bowl for Chase? Chase, what's your last name?
Smith.
Chase Smith. I knew it. We're trying to, because I read the article that she put out, but that was last week before you were going to come in, and then we rescheduled this week, and I was trying to remember. I'm like, his name's Chase. What's his last name? And Ty goes, it's like a common last name. We're trying to figure out because we read so much. Smith was the guest.
Smith,
but, man, we appreciate the hell out of you coming in here.
Thank you, guys.
No, you're cool, man. We appreciate you being a fan, though.
Yeah, dude. I want to tell you this. This is gonna touch your heart right here.
Me. Bro,
Yeah.
people say I'm the Grinch.
I mean the whole show.
Okay. All right.
So, you imagine with my story, there's a lot of days in hell. Not being mentally all there and having sucky days and being down. But I want you to know, like, this show, I can go and lay in my bed and rewatch this show every single day and wipe my mind clear of whatever I'm dealing with outside and get some joy and laughter from this show. So, like, thank you guys so much for
Chase.
No,
thank you.
Some sort of happiness in those low days.
Now listen. I'm not going to get
here.
teared up. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I am not going to do it. But I always had hoped that our show, right, would be a mental vacation for people. And then whenever you meet somebody as cool as you and as badass as you, saying that, like, we are obviously very grateful to be a part of your story, but please know, and that you allow us into your everyday, but please know that you could do our jobs better than us. Just know that, Chase, whenever you could do our show
At least
better.
us over here, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Interchangeable. Chase, you want to take some phone calls? You mind? You won't be able to hear. Hold on, we'll be able to get you a headset here. Reach over Zito there. Chase, hey, we appreciate you, man.
Thanks, man.
That was really, really cool of you to say, and we're very, very lucky to be a part of it. Let's go to Logan in North Carolina. Logan, what's going on?
Hey, Pat, how's it going? I have a little fantasy football question for you.
No, that's for Tone Diggs then. Tone Diggs, Fantasy Tone. What do you got, brother?
So now that Dak is hurt, unfortunately, I have a little situation. Do I go with Herbs or Andy Dalton as my new quarterback?
Oh, great question, because Mike McCarthy is going to open it up, but I feel like they're going to run the ball a lot. If I have Herb as a chance to be a starter on my team, I'm going with the Herbert.
Yeah.
Is that what you think, so, Fantasy Tone?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's the better quarterback.
You don't know anything.
You're right. You're right. I don't
know
You're right. I
anything.
don't.
Yeah, but
so quit asking questions.
Yeah, but when you're cutting off the fantasy guy that started fantasy
I'm in the
football.
exact same position.
You're a fantasy football guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have who's out?
I have Herbert and Dak just got out.
And then you had Andy Dalton in there. So you have her. What are you going to do? Are you a good fantasy? Hold on. Are you a good fantasy football player?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to hear it, Chase. Did you hear the episode with Matthew Berry where he was interrupting Matthew
Cutting
Berry?
him off every time.
He was cutting him off on
No, he wasn't.
Matthew Berry was trying to get his fantasy
No, he
football
wasn't.
expertise, and Diggs was like, no.
Daniel Thomas
That's not what you said.
Yeah.
So you're a good fantasy football player?
Yeah.
Who would you go with? Herbert?
Herbert.
Why?
dude's just an animal.
He is.
Yeah, he's an animal.
6'6", 240. He's a monster. And
He's proven. I mean, he's proven every week.
At this point, I think he is. What do you think about the old quarterbacks, like the older quarterbacks? Like, for instance, Phillip Rivers here in Indianapolis. You grew up in the city. He seems to be throwing the ball to the other team on a regular basis. What's going on there? Is he going to fix that, Chase, or what?
He's done.
Oh, Chase! I don't need that right now.
I need the Colts to tank for Trevor.
Oh, because you're a big Clemson Tiger fan.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be able to catch up to the Jets right now.
There's no way.
And it feels like you're a diehard Clemson Tiger fan from Deshaun Watson to Trevor Lawrence now. You love this man. And I was talking to you off air over there about how it feels like the New York Jets are, from what I've been told by people that have talked to people.
I don't want to talk about that.
You hate that. Why is that?
Adam Gase would just destroy his career.
Oh, so you want Trevor Lawrence to have a chance?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody stops him this year in college football?
No, absolutely not.
Georgia looks very good at football.
Yeah,
Not. I mean, they look like a trash can next to Trevor.
Okay, Chase. Let's go to Bobby Johnny over there in West Virginia.
Don't they have a walk-on as a quarterback?
He's the mailman, okay, because he's always on time, Chase. Have a little bit of respect.
Chase fits right in.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, Bobby Johnny, what do you want to talk about, boss? West Virginia, who knows?
Yeah, one of the hollers back there.
Bobby Johnny.
2 haulers dying down there. Bobby, you need you to scream or hold your phone better or get out from underneath the water you're in.
How about that?
There we go. What do you want to talk about, boss?
Shout out to you, man. So I went backpacking a few weeks ago, get 28 miles in the backwoods of West Virginia, got tick bites all over me. Itchy, miserable, just exposure in bad conditions. Did you ever play a game where you just had something making you uncomfortable? Not something that hurt, but just something similar that severely aggravated you while on the field.
I had bad indigestion, almost missed a game.
What'd you eat?
Yeah, well, I forget what it was. Could have been pizza or something like that. Just bad indigestion.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
People forget about it. Especially whenever you're not supposed to get hit or anything. Like, I'm just supposed to kind of cruise through life. And you got guys that go out there and play with, like, steel beams and everything.
Oh, yeah.
How about Chase sitting here? Like, Chase would walk on the field with anything going. He was swimming after beating Ewing's twice. I mean, I wish I had the toughness of you, Chase. I do. I'm too soft. Yeah. If that guy, I would never ever decide to walk 28. Did he get lost?
Yeah,
was that supposed to be a 1 mile walk? I'm not 100% sure what that was supposed to be.
Through the hills?
Let's go to Tristan down there in Alabama. What's going on, Tristan?
Hey, Pat, boys, how y'all doing?
Hey, not too shabby, Tristan. All right.
I just want to say I've called into the show 100 times. First time I ever got through, this is probably the best experience I've had in a long time.
Hey, we appreciate you, Tristan. We appreciate you calling in. Thanks for.
I got 2 things real quick. First, Chase, your story's awesome, man. I respect the hell out of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a badass. Good shoes.
Cancer's really hurt my family a lot the past couple years. So awesome story, man. Good luck with the rest of your life.
Appreciate
Hopefully it's forever.
Forever.
But, Pat, you said yesterday that college football makes your ratings drop.
Just nothing faster. The NBA, I guess, it
just
goes
dropped
down
like a valley.
Bowling the other day, we talked about it. It went down almost to zero while we were midway through a sentence.
College football?
Chase.
20K to 19K just right now.
Right now,
it's
almost at 60.
Hang on.
College football
stinks on the air, I guess.
Not as much as the NBA.
Am I still on here?
Chase, we didn't.
No, yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
You're
Tristan,
good.
you're on there. Sorry, we're just talking about the ratings dropping while you're potentially speaking about college football.
Okay, well, I understand y'all are all from you're from Pittsburgh. Everybody's from Illinois, Iowa area, Big Ten area.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Big Ten show.
There's only won 2 national championships this whole century so far. So you got to talk about the SEC a little more.
Okay. Oh, it's different down there. Listen, we talk college football. We talk SEC football a lot.
Hey, I know, and I'm from Alabama, but hey, go Big Orange, go Rocky Top.
Oh, see, you guys haven't won it.
Figured out.
Tristan is a coward down there.
Get him out.
Sell out.
Kidding me?
I'm sure the ratings will go back up next weekend if we start talking college football.
Oh, because Big Ten's coming back?
Yeah, I mean, only conference anyone cares about.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks, baby.
Go Hawks, baby.
I will say that is not accurate. The SEC, and I know people hate ESPN, right? They call them SEC, ESPN, or whatever. And I don't speak for the ESPN ever, obviously, and I don't know if they love the way I speak all the time anyways, but whenever you start just noticing and realizing and experiencing what the SEC is, both from on-field play and the cult that is around every single team down there, you can see why the SEC moves the needle. Because they say it's different down here. It is. And I thought, by the way, we had great fans at West Virginia. We sold out every stadium we played in because Pat White and Steve Slayton were there and everything like that. And I assumed that, that was an awesome environment, and it was. But what they got cooking down there in the SEC is it is an actual cult. It is real life cult. If they stink, they're still showing up to church every single week. It is insane down there. And I don't want to say they don't care about the NFL down there, because obviously there's some teams down there that people care about. But college football is one in the South, and the NFL is two. Everywhere else, I think literally everywhere else. In West Virginia University is the NFL team, but Pittsburgh is like an hour and a half away. There's a lot of Steelers fans. The NFL is still number one in a lot of places. In the South, it is college football or get the hell out. And I can respect
I don't know. I don't agree.
Where?
I think the Big Ten overrides NFL.
Where?
Here.
Maybe Ohio State, maybe.
Here.
Ohio State, maybe.
Midwest.
Yeah. Ohio State, maybe. Not in Indiana. Come on.
I say Michigan, Ohio.
Lions.
Well, it's because the Lions.
The
Lions
stink.
stink. Fucking need to
Yeah,
sell
but
the team.
valid points here. He is bringing up some very valid
I
points.
mean, Michigan stinks too. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, Michigan
probably
not
better
as
than
bad as
Michigan State.
State.
Michigan stinks, but they're loyal.
That's true.
They are.
Except to the Lions.
By the way, what you're saying, Michigan's right. Ohio is right. Ohio State is the biggest
You don't think
team over there. Indiana, see, where we're currently at, not. And where I'm from in Pittsburgh, it's like not at all. Philadelphia, not at all. And I would assume anywhere all the way up the New Yorks and New Jerseys, it's not.
All pro.
And on the West Coast, I mean, they don't care about football at all.
Nah, they got better
So
stuff to
it's
do.
a very interesting thing. West Coast did not deserve that shot there. I know. We know there's a lot of football fans over there, but Pac-12, if they didn't exist, nobody would even know.
I agree.
You're a bigger college or NFL fan?
College.
Yeah, it's because you're a fan of the Bears. So that's the problem. If
There you
you
go.
weren't a fan of the Bears, we'd be able to figure that out. And by the way, I didn't know.
Better commentators as well in college.
Oh, you think so? Oh, you're saying
Herbie.
Herb Street's the guy,
Yeah.
isn't he? You a big Herbie guy?
Yeah.
His kids are on Clemson.
Yeah.
Kirk Herbstreit was the only reason why I got on College Game Day.
Really?
Yeah, he was basically the one that was like, we need to have this guy on here, basically.
I'm a big Joel Klott too.
We enjoy him in
I like Joel Klott a lot. He gets great interviews out of players too, and he posts them on his Instagram. And I appreciate him for that because I will scroll through this every single week. He's very good at what he does over
Yeah, I
there.
love him.
Who's Clemson play this week? Do you know?
Georgia Tech.
That's my team.
Upset alert.
Well, West Virginia's my team.
2-2, man.
Whoa! But they're turning things around, Jace. They are turning things around.
They're not turning
Yeah, they are.
anything
Jeff
around.
Collins got it down. Yeah, they do. Just wait. I don't know. The spread is probably 30 at this point.
Something like that.
Probably 30, 28, 30. I'm hammering Georgia Tech.
Yeah, they only lose by 25.
That's it. They're going to cover.
I'm going down to Clemson to watch next week against Syracuse. Yeah.
Okay.
Another good squad.
The athletic director. Don't we know the athletic director down there?
Oh, Clemson?
Yeah.
You do.
I think I know the athletic director.
Really?
Yeah. Is that who's sending you down? Are you going down there for a reason, or are you just going down by yourself?
No, I'm just going down by myself.
Oh,
here we go.
Let's go.
Here we go.
So they say in this world, like, connections are a big deal. I don't have a lot of them, but every once in a while I'll get a text message from people, and it's like, hey, from Pittsburgh, do this. We appreciate you. If you ever come down here, do this. This feels like an easy situation. This feels like we could probably get you pretty well hooked up down there.
Really?
I don't know the guy at all. I didn't answer his first text message because I'm not a good networker. He sent me another one. I did respond to that one, but it was a quick one. I'm not coming down. So I don't know how good of friends we are or not, how much I can really get you pulled, but he's a Pittsburgh guy.
Pull.
I'm going to, believe me, I'm getting in the boat and I'm pulling as hard as I can.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah, all right, let's go to our guy Brett in Buffalo. What's going on, Brett?
28, by the way.
Howdy, fellas. How you doing today? Happy Feel Good Friday.
I feel like I'm.
Amen.
Wow.
You might as well set
How'd
the
you
lines.
know that?
Because I'm a sharp dude. Well, everything's good, Brett. Happy Feel Good Friday to you as well.
What's up, Brett?
Hey, first things first. Chase, you're the man. Love your story, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know if you're much of a Kobe fan, but that's some Mamba mentality right there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hey, good call
yeah.
there, Brett, actually. Very good call there.
Brett.
Thank you. So my thing is, I've bought a lot of bitter biscuits over the last 24 hours because Le'Veon Bell turned down my bills. And how do y'all feel? Like I was saying to Mitt, this feels a bit like Kevin Durant to the Warriors. Don't the Chiefs just feel like now and like they can beat just about anyone?
What did Mitt say to that?
Yeah, what did he say?
Mitt thought that, well, he didn't really give an opinion. He was just like, oh, I like that take. I really appreciate that.
Oh, okay. Hey, way to go, Mitt. Way to go back there, Mitt. Motivating people. I saw that on the internet a lot. I saw a lot of people saying this is Kevin Durant going to the Warriors and blah, blah, blah. But if you're Le'Veon Bell, which we learned about, can you blame him for this? If you're going to go ring chase somewhere, it was always New England. People go up there for cheap contracts to try to get a Super Bowl, the dynasty. And by the way, more often than not, they did. Then you didn't know if it was going to be New England or is it going to be Tampa Bay because Tom Brady went down there. Now it turns out it's neither. Everybody just wants to go play with old Patty Mahomes and the rocket ship that they have on the offense. But they have not played the best football on a consistent basis, which is good for Le'Veon Bell because maybe with Le'Veon in there, they'll be able to build their chemistry and go back to form that they were last year, maybe even better. But yeah, I can understand why people would be mad at Le'Veon Bell, but I can't blame him. Can't blame him, Chase. He's going to go get a Super Bowl potentially. Go do it.
Go do it.
Go do it. Yeah, go do it. By the way, Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl ring is already on the auction.
Okay.
Somebody got cut.
By a practice squad player. Yeah, a practice squad player. For whatever reason, probably needed the cash. I'm not going to give out the cash because I don't want people to think that they should go get it. There's a chance that we will have a Super Bowl ring in this particular office.
I love that.
Chase, by the way, you can wear it if you ever want to, bub. Take it.
How do you think Clyde Edwards-Helaire feels?
I think he likes it. I don't think he minds it. If you get a chance to watch somebody like Le'Veon Bell, who's been an All-Pro and everything like that. Now, granted, there are some people that think he's a bad teammate, which we talked to Ramon Foster. He said he was not a bad teammate. He was a good teammate. There's just a couple things that happened or whatever. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not upset about it. If you can get somebody that can get in there and relieve you a little bit, also good. And I think he opens up the backfield for Clyde. I think CEH is going to be happy about it.
Think they're going to play some schemes with both of them?
So I think what's going to happen, I drew this up earlier, and I am a football analyst at this point. So, I mean, whenever I say things, people are probably going to listen. So the circle here that I'm drawing is Patrick Mahomes, and then the X is, all right, you see that, Chad? Or Chase? You see what we got going on there?
I got you.
Okay, so the circle there is Patrick Mahomes. I think there will be a Le'Veon Bell, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Tyreek Hill with the offensive line up here. I think that'll debut at one point on the field. Just because that's what Andy Reid does. I'm sorry.
I'd be upset if they didn't run that every single play.
I mean,
that's
once again, Le'Veon Bell here
running the veer
to the left of Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire here, right of Patrick Mahomes. Tyreek Hill in the pistol back behind Patrick Mahomes. Offensive line here. Travis Kelce probably either over here or over here.
Wait, is
Patrick.
Is he under the center, or is he?
No, shotgun. This is shotgun. They're all in the backfield
Pistol.
here. And by the way, Patrick Mahomes.
Goodness.
Do not call him Patrick.
I want his mom.
His mom will tweet us. Yeah. And by the way, I respect that.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that she's like, if you're get it right in
She
there.
named him.
Is he still Matthew Stafford or is it Matt?
From my understanding, it's always been Matthew.
But he never talks.
No one knows, but Matthew just seems right.
Yeah, it does. We got about a minute and a half left.
That was some
here,
great
Chase.
X's and O's, by the way. Buddy.
Thank you.
That was really good.
I literally just drew X's nose. This is a football show.
Yeah, how about it?
Football.
Chase, we got about a minute left here, bub. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
Thanks, man.
No, anytime you get a chance to meet a human like you, it's like one of those perspective putters about how life should be, could be, and will be. I mean, you're a badass, bro.
Thanks, man.
Great shoes, too.
Yeah.
I mean, your shoe game
Good
is
fit.
outstanding at this point.
Mellow ball, baby.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
Okay. All right, you're a Ball family fan?
Yes, sir.
We don't have enough time. We don't have enough time to dive into that right now at this moment. But Chase, thanks for stopping by, bud.
Yes, sir.
Big thanks to everybody that listened and watched all week here on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel 82. Ramon Foster, incredible conversation. Also, Josh Cribbs in the first hour. Thanks for stopping by. We know that you can let a lot of other things penetrate your eyeballs and your ear holes. The fact that you allow us to do it, we can never thank you enough. I hope you have the greatest weekend of your entire life. I hope your bets hit. I hope on FanDuel we take all of their money. We'll be back on Monday for an Overreaction Monday like you've never seen before. I think the Steelers cover against the Browns this weekend. I think the Packers cover against the Bucks. And I think you all will be in for quite a treat next Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. This has been the Pat McAfee Show. Feel Good Friday, October 16th. Chris Mad Dog Russo is next. Hey, that was right on time there.
Killed it.
Wow.
Thank you. Hey, you're clear, Bob.
Hey, you're clear.
Thank you.
You're clear, Bob.
You
No,
too.
you
had a great weekend.
Bob.
Oh,
No, Bob, don't
Bob.
you do this, Bob.
Bob. That's what I thought.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
done, he's
that's
done
right.
with it.
I hope you have a bad weekend, Bob.
See you later, Bob.
So we're just on YouTube right now, Chase, wrapping things up. You're married there? Is that a...
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got married. Here we go. When did that happen?
April 29th.
Congratulations. Hey,
yeah.
congratulations.
Good idea on knowing that.
Yeah, good idea getting that right, by the way. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 429, big day. High school sweetheart?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Sadie.
Sadie, when did you meet Sadie?
We met my junior year. She's a diver, so swimming and diving are sort of joint sports, and so after our high schools, we went to separate high schools. Our high schools competed, and her high school had like a social afterwards, I guess, and so we met each other first at that social, and then this past year, my senior year, when they came to our school to compete this year, I made my move.
Oh,
Let's go.
Smart. What you say? Hi, how's it going? Saw you at the social. Good diving. Let's say, how you doing?
I got her digits.
Oh, let's go. Here we go.
And later on, she apparently after I got her number, she went to her mom immediately and was like, "The cute boy from last year at the social talked to me this year."
Oh, so it was something where you both were feeling a certain type of way, but it took a little bit to kind of get together. Good for you.
And then once we started dating, it was just like we didn't spend more than one day apart, and it just took off. We just knew.
Hey, there's a wedding day, by the way. Good suit. I like what you did.
Great shoes.
Good shoe game there. Your beautiful bride there.
Yeah,
What a
that picture is where I picked her up for our first date, and we had our first kiss.
Oh, you romantic! You romantic man! You. Hey, good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I got married a little bit ago as well.
I was loving the shorts.
Thank you.
I love it.
Well, I appreciate it. I had to put the shorts on strictly because I almost got fired at WrestleMania for wearing shorts, and I was asked in the middle of that whether or not I would wear those at my wedding, and I said, "Yeah, I would." So then, fast forward 2 years to my wedding, and it's got to do it, just strictly because I said, "Yeah, I would."
What shoes did you wear?
Oh, I had some Ferragamo, Jean. Ferragamo. I had to do it.
You had to.
No, were they Steve Madden? What were they, Nick? We bought them.
Steve Madden.
I think they might have been Steve Madden. I'm not a big like dress shoe guy, but boy, I'll tell you what. I think it's Steve Madden strictly because of Wolf of Wall Street, if I had to guess. Yeah. What did you have on there? They had some good loafers on there.
They were just the company that we got the tuxes from.
Did you rent that tux right there?
Yeah.
It fit well. Normally, the rented tux is just a nightmare.
So I went to prom 3 times.
No big deal.
Wow.
No big deal. No big deal.
And we had the place that we went to, we were family friends with, and they hooked us up.
Well,
nice.
You know the guy sitting on the couch right there? Imagine him getting a tux rental, by the way.
Oh, no. I have to buy it every time. They don't have my sizes.
That was rude. They
don't make tarps that big.
They said
shut up.
Wow. Bro,
I've been stress eating.
You do not deserve this. It's Feel Good
Nick,
Friday.
I know Nick doesn't have a mic, so I had to
By
do
the way,
it
Nick
for
said
him.
that in my ear glasses.
I knew it.
Hey, stay off the Bears fans.
Oh,
Yeah, take that, Nick, you piece of shit.
You guys are terrible people, honestly. The Chase, I can't believe you came in here. Thankful you did. We appreciate
you.
you. The fact you listened to our show, Can never thank you enough, dude.
Dude, every week or every day, actually.
Well,
Every day.
some episodes are bad too. So don't worry. You don't have to tell us that you watch every show because there are some terrible shows that we.
I don't find
Chase.
any bad shows.
Chase.
Let's go. Look, you don't have to lie.
Chase.
All right?
Look
I
at
am
Zeno.
dead
Listen to
serious.
Zeno. Like, look,
Yeah,
go on. It's like, no. I'm trying to be like, yo, we are self-aware.
I referred the show to my uncle, and he watched it Friday. So when I was supposed to be on here, and he was like, "Is that how every show is?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm gonna be on every day."
Let's go. Yeah, it
So-
doesn't make a lot of sense why our show is the way it is or how it works, but it does, and it's because of people like
pulls,
you. So
man.
we appreciate the hell out of you.
Thank you.
One last time for our guy Chase Smith.
Our sources.
Okay, we just got some breaking news here. Tom Pelissaro is tweeting that our source was right. The Patriots are placing center James Ferentz on the reserve COVID-19 list per source. So the backup center was the one who tested positive.
Yep.
If you're a center, by the way, I think that means you're around a lot of people, right? I mean, that kind of is a position
You're the
that
center
you're
of
in.
all.
For sure.
Well, there's a lot of people that could be around you. He's going on to the COVID-19 list. If the other person has the second confirmation positive come back, I would assume they're going to potentially have to do some contact tracing, this whole thing. The Patriots have had 2 people before test positive. This is their 3rd. Will it be a 4th? Who knows? How will the NFL handle this with the Patriots Broncos? As of like 25 minutes ago, it was still business as usual. Game will be played Sunday. Now let's see how this thing unfolds.
Yeah, when Cam got it, there were 20 guys that the contact tracers linked to, and they took that separate plane out to KC. So you got to assume, right, about 20, maybe 25 guys that were in close contact with old Jimmy Ferentz.
Yeah, because you would think Cam Newton potentially around people, but with the center, you got the D line, you got the offensive line, you got the quarterbacks, right?
Jimmy.
That is just right around you.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Kirk Ferentz's son, yeah. Go Hawks, baby.
rough off.
Is Cam playing this week?
What's that?
Is Cam playing?
Yeah.
Cam is back if the backup center didn't give him COVID via a
That'd be a shame.
center
I
quarterback.
Already had it. He's got the antibodies, baby. Here
Yeah,
we
none
go.
of us know anything about the antibodies.
Let's ride with the antibodies.
We don't know if that's even a real thing.
I'm riding with
Lock back.
What's that?
Is Gilly Lock back?
Oh yeah, Gilly Lock is back. Yeah.
So
Again, the antibodies, we don't know.
we don't know if the antibodies.
well, they also might make him better at football. So
That
That did happen to
jury's
the
out.
Titans. That did happen to the Titans. All right, this show's over. Feel Good Friday. Hammer Don is in 27 minutes with Tone Diggs, myself, Gumpy, and Michael Lombardi, former general manager. Zito, what's the final poll results for Will Le'Veon Bell have 100 yards rushing in one game for the Kansas City Chiefs this year?
Yep, 48.8%. Nope, 51.2%.
Wow.
Over 20,000 votes. That's a big old poll.
That's a massive poll.
Massive poll going into the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you all have the greatest weekend of your entire life. Chase, you're the best, dude.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been the Pat McAfee Show. Friday, October 16th. That's the show.
The Packers are healthy. I think the Bucs are still a little beat up, and with Vitae not being in there in the defensive front, I think that hurts them. I don't know if I want to go against Aaron Rodgers. You know, who's the better quarterback? Brady's got the name, but I think that, Rodgers is the better quarterback here, and Devontae Adams is going to play. So I'm leaning right now. I haven't made a pick, but I'm leaning towards Green Bay.
Packers also great coming off a bye, 9-3-2, their last 14 against the spread.
It's because Aaron camps out on his property.
Yeah.
What were they last year, though, since LaFleur has been the coach for, do you know what it is last year? Because that would be something I would like to look up.
Are you?
Well, I'm saying 9-3-2. I mean, what is that? Fucking
Aaron Rodgers, baby. That's all that
14
matters.
years.
That's all that matters. Aaron Rodgers, dude.
Hey, that's
Number
all you
12,
had to say.
dude.
That's all you had to say.
Tuesdays.
We're just.
Dude, in this office.
I'm just tired of waiting for the Bucs to show up. You know what I mean?
Well,
you keep betting on them, and it's just not happening. I can't do it anymore.